hungry you are.
Peanut Sports Show, a Wednesday night show that features the sports opinions of the fans sitting up in Peanut Heaven. This show airs Wednesday nights here on Beaver County Radio, and it is brought to you by TK Roofing Specialist in Elwood City. The phone lines are open at 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. Now let's introduce your host for the show, Scott Kincaid and Brian Pasquale.
Welcome to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. I'm Brian Pasquale here at the St. Barnabas Studios with my co-host, Scott Kincaid. Our producer, Ryan, is here to take your calls at 724-774-1888. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing. Give Scott a call for all your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. Welcome back, everybody. It's been an interesting week. Scott's been here since noon preparing for the show. I mean, he just walked in.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I left in plenty of time. I did not count for the traffic.
Everybody's getting off work early, and yeah.
You guys be safe out there. There was a lot of crazy drivers. I'm happy to be here. I'm thankful to be here safe.
Were you happy you made it?
Yeah. I've noticed throughout the week that everybody has been giving thanks at the end of the show. So I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to say? And then I thought, you know what? We never have time at the end of the show. So let's give thanks at the beginning of the show. Maybe that gives me a chance to get set up here too. I want to just go.
Take your time, Scott. We have 2 hours.
I'd like to reflect on this year and the Peanut Show and what we're thankful for, what I'm thankful for. I'm obviously thankful for St. Barnabas here at WBVP for giving us the opportunity to bring you the cheap seat sports views. Also thankful for the people I've met. I never would have met Ryan.
Yeah.
Totally blessed and thankful that I've met him.
Ryan's probably not thankful for meeting us.
Frank has been a great addition to my life. And then, of course, Brian, I knew you before this, but this is I'm thankful that we get to add another chapter in my life of Brian Pasquale. Like if there was a book in my life, there was a book in my my life. There is definitely several different chapters of Brian. And
nobody's buying that one. It's collecting dust on the shelf.
I'm thankful for the Elwood City Little Midgets football team, or the Mighty Midgets, Little Wolverines flag team. I like to see that program. It's growing. We had the banquet this last Saturday. It was a great turnout. I like the direction that's going in. I'm thankful for that. What's brought enlightenment to our family and our life. It's great to see young sports, to me, being organized. I think it's really neat because the big programs, Aliquippa and this whatnot, the Elwood City's been behind the times, and this seems like they're really catching up, and it brought the community together. I mean, they filled up the SOI, which is a big banquet hall in Elwood City, so it was a great event. All the kids got awards, and they did good this year compared to years of the past. They were at the bottom of the barrel for years and
Participation trophies? Is that what you're talking about?
No, they actually got real trophies. They won some games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got some real trophies, and they did really good, and I see a lot of potential and a lot of interest.
Was it like the Dundies
future.
from The Office?
Okay.
Yes, no?
What are you thankful for, Brian? This ought to be interesting. This will probably be the shortest part of the show. What are you thankful for?
What am I thankful for? My daughter's health, my family's health. Every day on this planet's a blessing, I guess.
No. We have to stay within topic. This year.
What's my topic?
This year. What are you thankful for this year?
My health, my family's health, my daughter's health.
Okay.
Health. Being healthy.
This is the year that
I was trying to isolate the thankfulness, new things to be thankful for this year, not things that. Of course, I'm thankful for my health and my family.
Right.
I mean, you just gave the obvious. You were the blonde at the beauty pageant and asked, what do you think is the greatest thing?
I think it's because people don't have
If you could
maps.
change anything, what would you do? World peace. Whatever.
Well, that would be great. World hunger, world peace. What bigger subjects would?
Right.
I'm going to be honest. I would love to see one of these models create world peace. You know what I mean? That's such an odd thing for models to say. When they're asked this question, How are they going to make?
Yeah, how are you going about this? What's your
Right.
10-step plan?
Right, because this isn't exactly their strength. Their strength is looking good and doing the things that models do. Where the smartest geniuses of the world can't figure out how to create world peace.
Right.
That was always funny to me.
And we're going to get into this conspiracy theory thing a little bit later. I don't think the world leaders are trying for peace.
Oh, absolutely not.
I think if you put the beauty queen up there in charge of things,
You may
we
get
probably
better
would
results.
get peace. We might get better results, but then again, I don't know where the economy would go. I don't know all the
Yeah.
other stuff where that would go. But for the same peace part of it, I think that would work great. What are you thankful
I'm
for,
thankful
Ryan?
for the models that promise world peace.
Yes.
Is what I'm thankful for.
Did you watch
Right?
Miss Universe? I did watch that the other day.
I did not know.
I was very thankful that was on at
Yes,
that hour.
I was
very
thankful too. I'm thankful you're telling me about it.
Yes.
It's
You
so
know what?
funny.
I've watched several of those shows. I still can't tell you any of the winners. I can tell you all the Super Bowl winners.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Miss Universe, Miss America, all that stuff, I don't know.
When the Titans won the Super
blonde,
Bowl, did they
brunette-
win?
Who?
When the Titans, they made it to the Super Bowl. Did they win?
They did
No.
not.
No, neither.
Short by a yard and a half.
That's true. That's very true.
That is very true.
So I was
Small
telling
market team. They're the Pirates of the NFL.
I was telling Ryan before the show, I was like, I don't really even know what I want to talk about today because, everybody's beating the old Matt Canada thing to death. And apparently we're talking about the most beautiful women on the planet. So I guess it's not a bad way to start
That
the
is
show.
not a bad
right?
way. Yeah. Scott, you know what? I got to be honest. I mean, Scott comes busting through the door at 3:59. We're talking
In
about
50 seconds.
In 59 seconds. We're talking about hot women.
I left. I was 45 minutes away when I left, according to the GPS, at 2:30.
You got.
And I got here 2 minutes to 4 because of traffic. And I had to drive
Did you
past
run?
the airport.
Did you run from the car to the building?
No, I don't run.
You're lucky that me and Brian are so nice because the people here at the studio that don't work with us, they wanted to lock you out, and we said you know what, you got to let it in. They wanted
Matt
to.
had the keys and he was locking you out.
Yeah.
We had to bully Matt.
It was something.
It took
We
two
have a
of us.
security guy, and there's us three.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
just- that's a good one. That's a good one.
But yeah, guys, I let's see. We got some things to talk about. Brian, you and I, before we got on the air today, we was talking briefly, and I think a lot of people don't talk about this. It's kind of a small thing. It doesn't really matter to many. And it's not a topic by any means. But when Kenny Pickett, our quarterback for the Steelers, does it drive anybody nuts? And Scott, you're in on this as well. When Kenny Pickett drops back the pass and he immediately does that turnaround rollout where he turns to his left and starts rolling out, where I think maybe 1 out of 10 times I might have seen him complete a pass when he does this. But you
I think you're being generous.
I think I am being
He's
generous as
terrible
well.
running to his left and throwing.
He gets the snap, drops back, he turns to his right, turns the whole way around and starts jetting off to the left. And usually there's somebody in his face at that point. A lot of times he ends up getting sacked. What is the thought process on that play, and why do the coaches let this continue? That is...
Yeah, it was 3rd and 3 in the fourth quarter. He had a clean pocket. He could have just ran for the first down. It was 3 yards away.
And I'm going to even prove this to you because Brian has a picture of the... I can't prove it, I guess, but it shows an arrow pointing where there's plenty of pasture that he could be running.
My Facebook profile picture is Kenny Pickett in a clean pocket 1 second before he turns and gets sacked.
I hate
when
that.
he could just run straight for the first down or step up in the pocket, and then maybe it freezes a linebacker, and then you can make an open pass.
I think that play, fixing that play, Brian, would improve his game drastically, because how many times have you seen that particular play kill their drive or be a play in the middle of a series?
Multiple times.
You know what I'm saying? So
Now, do you think that Matt Canada told him to do that, and it's all
don't
Matt
know.
Canada's fault?
this is why I
No.
think that this week is going to be interesting moving forward in these next 7 games, because we're going to
I
see
believe this is moving forward.
we're going to see what it is that Matt Canada was doing. We're going to see what Matt Canada was involved with. We're going to see what Matt Canada had his hands in, because you would think all those things are going to start getting adjusted now. They're going to start getting changed, and all the things that we said. Oh,
By the running back.
We got to get
by
rid
the
of
running back coach.
We got to get rid of Canada, or
Not on Sunday. He's just the offensive coordinator during the week.
yeah,
That's
the
how
quarterback
much they're
coach is
messing
the
this up.
offensive coordinator on Sunday.
Yes, the quarterback's coach is the offensive coordinator during the game, but not the rest of the week.
But do you see what I'm saying? Kenny Pickett is certainly going to be under a microscope
He
here.
was rated. No, he was rated the most aggressive quarterback in the league. Did you see this?
No.
This rating. So he's rated the most aggressive quarterback. Doesn't make any
doesn't
sense.
throw
How
the
he
ball
doesn't throw the ball?
downfield.
He doesn't throw
Doesn't make
downfield.
any
He doesn't
sense.
throw
You
in
know
the
what?
middle.
No. This doesn't mean aggressive successfully.
Like anger issues in the locker room, or
No,
what?
no. He's the most aggressive.
His wife told him.
Thrower. He's like most aggressive player by the way they're rating him. He's the most aggressive quarterback.
What does it mean?
And the least successful. Like he's trying to force the ball with no success
I don't
because
even
he's
see him
not
doing
hit,
that anymore.
because
Did you
he's
read
not
this?
hitting his mark. He's not hitting his target. He's not, like you said, moving up in the pocket. He is being probably groomed or trained to be aggressive because you need more offense. So now we need all this and more offense. And yet there's just no calmness. There's no resolve. You can see it in his play. It's almost an urgency at the very first snap. He has an urgency. There's no relaxedness about his or confidence about it. It's just go, aggressive, and then throw the ball.
See, I disagree with
and because
he
of
makes
that
smart
mentality,
plays, Scott, where he does a lot of time, he'll throw the ball out of bounds. He'll throw the ball at the ground. I mean, he's not overly aggressive, in my opinion, where he's trying to make things
I
happen.
didn't make this ranking, Ryan. I'm not. This is not something I made
arguing with you.
The NFL made this ranking.
I'm just coming from the other angle. I don't understand because a lot of times he will throw it away, throw it at the ground, so he doesn't try to force an aggressive play.
He hasn't thrown a pick. I don't know how they would rank him that high as
He's thrown one
aggression.
interception since week 2. He's thrown one interception since the second week of the season. So I mean, it doesn't. But again, I understand what you're saying. You read this somewhere. I just don't understand.
Kenny Pickett to me is exactly what you got. It's what you expected. He's done everything you've expected.
Yeah.
And now you're expecting him to be Patrick Mahomes.
No.
And
nobody
because he's
expected
not,
Kenny Pickett to
because
do what
he's
he's done.
not, because he's not, the Pittsburgh Steelers fired Matt Canada.
Dude, he's not even Tim Tebow. What do you mean he's not Patrick Mahomes?
He's not even Tommy DeVito, the guy for the Giants, got 2 touchdowns.
Is that
in
Dan-
four
is that
games
Dan-
So
played.
there's no
cousin?
reason to come down Kenny Pickett about this. It has to come down to, like, if we're going to point fingers. I mean, I don't even like the pointing of the fingers. In
I'll
fact,
point a
let's
finger at you, mister.
just, can we rewind if we're going to just a little bit? I don't know how much time we have, but let's rewind to the last game. We didn't even talk about the last game.
Yeah.
This game
What is
was
the first segment, Scott?
this is the this
Scott, you just walked in the door with dolls in your hands.
He does have dolls. They look like are those Barbie or those or what Monster High? That's what my
and in
daughter
the
has.
spring,
Can I
folks,
brush
we were
McCutcheon's hair?
replacing Brian and Ryan with baseball fans.
Come back for the next segment, and his little dolls will be in our spots, in our seats.
There'll be voodoo
Garrett
dolls.
Jones
One
will
of
be sitting
Ryan,
here.
one of Brian.
Yeah.
Every time y'all say something like that, I'm like stabbing it.
But I just listen,
it in
because
mayonnaise
we do
or
have about
onions.
2.5 minutes. I just want to say this. It's going to be interesting, Scott, to see how Kenny performs from here on out, because we're going to be able to shed all that Matt Canada talk. If Matt Canada wasn't the offensive coordinator, it wouldn't be like this. If Matt Canada wasn't calling the offense, it wouldn't be like this.
Oh no,
I think now
I
it's
disagree.
good.
And this is why you don't fire him mid-season, because now even whoever takes over next, you act like he's going to be better. If he's worse,
Right.
it's still Canada's fault because he screwed up, and it's just the Canada. We're just going to write up the Canada year.
He screwed this kid's head
And
up. So
hopefully-
no matter what he does for the rest of his career, you could always blame
Doesn't
Canada.
matter, right? Canada
Can't blame Mike Tomlin. That's for sure.
Yeah.
There can be no blame there ever. I don't know how he's not on the hot seat.
I couldn't agree with you more.
You heard that, didn't you?
Yeah, Scott's phone's on.
But at the end of the day, as
terrible.
disappointed as we are in this team, they are 6-4. They haven't had a losing season in forever.
Currently, they're in the playoffs. If
Currently,
we're to
they're
start
in the
today.
playoffs. If the playoffs started today, so guys, I mean, next week if we win and a couple other teams lose, we could be back in the top 4 teams in the conference. It's unbelievable what's going on in
Well,
the
let's
AFC.
talk about the last game they played.
Yeah.
Can we just go back and start from scratch here?
Well,
Because I don't
well, we do-
understand
let's
why
wait till
everybody's
after
upset
break.
when we
1
fired
minute.
somebody.
because we have a minute. So let's
It was the best game I saw the Steelers play all year long, and they lost by 3. They've won all these games by 1 score. If you watch the game, it was the best game they played because this offense played the number 1 defense
Yeah.
and held them to 13 points. And if you
yeah.
watch football and you watch these games being played now, the offense didn't
Scott, they
didn't
played
get
the
it done, and the defense
exact
didn't get it
game
done down the
they
stretch.
played
So you
leading
expected
up.
a little
They played
more out of the
same
defense.
exact game that they
so
played
why
last
is the defense?
year.
Why is the defensive coordinator not under fire here? Because he's the one that lost the game. The game was tied, and they lost the game to a rookie quarterback on some cover 2 bullshit that. UCLA quarterback, hey, run what you did at UCLA on your 2-minute package to win the game. It's a West Coast offense.
But
They probably don't know what they're doing, and they did exactly what they expected them to do, was cover 2, high school defense. They can't score on us, obviously, and they ran down there, and of course the officials helped. But just the same, that's how the game ended, and that is not the way the whole thing should be perceived. You won, the Steelers, that is, won so many games like this. To freak out over this one because it's the Browns and it's an AFC
The
North
stigma
rival.
of it being the Browns is what got people up and got people up in arms. If you would have lost this game to, let's say, the Vikings, if you would have lost this game to another team, it's because they feel that we.
All
have
right,
this,
answer me this: if
people
they'd
feel
have
that
won
it's
the
a
game, if they'd have won the
birthright to
game,
beat
Ryan,
the Cleveland Browns, if you're a
they'd have
Steeler
won
fan.
the game, Ryan,
Yes, sir.
would Canopy still have his job?
Totally.
And would be even worried about this?
See-
so we fired him over a game that I think was the best game they played. So I'm totally up in arms.
Well,
about
I disagree with
what's
Scott
going on.
1,000% on that. We do have to go to break. I will get into that and have my rebuttal whenever we come back. You guys have been listening to WBBP 99.3, and we'll see you back here in 2 minutes.
Nice.
TEK Roofing Specialists are known for quality, honesty, and efficiency. You can reach them at 412-969-1167. Whether it's a small leak or a new roof, TEK Roofing Specialists will fix the problem. Check out TEK Roofing on Facebook to see quality work they've done. TEK Roofing uses only the best products like Tamco's Titan XT Premium Shingles with a 160-mile-per-hour wind warranty. That's TEK Roofing Specialists, 412-969-1167. Insured, licensed, and certified.
Autumn leaves aren't the only thing that's falling this season, so are the prices on quality tires at the Beaver Valley Auto Mall Express Lane. Just like the leaves, there's colorful savings happening right now through the end of November, only when you buy 3 tires and get the 4th for just $1. It's the tire deal of 2023. For a limited time, now through the end of November, at the Beaver Valley Auto Mall Express Lane in Monaca. No need to worry about traveling on old tires this winter. The Beaver Valley Auto Mall Express Lane has the savings you need on the tires you need to keep you safe. What a perfect time for a sale. Now till the end of November. Buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. That's $1 well spent. It's all happening at the Beaver Valley Auto Mall Express Lane in Monaca. Stop in today.
The holiday season officially arrives in Beaver this Friday when the sights and sounds of Christmas come alive at Beaver Light Up Night. Beaver County Radio's Mike Romai and Matt Durzig will broadcast live from 4 to 6 p.m. along 3rd Street in Beaver. Beaver County Radio's live appearance at Beaver Light Up Night is being brought to you by D&G Rentals and Falcone's Moon Township Ford. A great holiday season always starts with Beaver Light Up Night and Beaver County Radio.
Hey, Peanuts!
Welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. I'm Brian Pascal here in the same part of the studios with my co-host Scott Kincaid. Our producer Ryan is here to take your calls at 724-774-1888. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing. Give Scott a call for all your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. $150 and you get on his gutter cleaning list and a free inspection of your roof. Can't beat that. $150. Come out, clean the gutters, and take a look at your roof. 412-969-1167. I got oven mittens falling on my hands. Our pets' heads are falling off. Scott has dolls on the table.
I'm trying to make sure it's in the screen, like the camera seems to be pointing over there.
All right.
Apparently we're in a blizzard.
Am I even
Scott
in
now
the
has
picture
his-
tonight? Am I in the picture?
No, I have it totally off of you. We're all
Right,
on
they just put the
Brian
webcam
tonight.
on me. You didn't know this, Scott?
But yeah, Scott is ready. He has his scarf on, as you can see. We must be in a blizzard here in Western Pennsylvania. He has big gloves on. I don't know.
I really
what's-
need you to warm
He
up.
has his warm hot cocoa.
Let me say something to you, Scott. I want to start off this segment by saying I agree with you. Believe it or not, I believe that losing to a team with the number 1 defense by the score that we lost is not a bad thing. This is the number 1 defense in the league. You know what? Losing 13-10, as a matter of fact, I agree with you. I think that this is for the timing is what I have a problem with. Why would you fire your coordinator after this particular game.
Well, this is opposite what normally happens. Usually the Steelers go into Cleveland and beat them for the second time of the year, and then Cleveland fires their head coach.
Right.
So we go into Cleveland, lose 10-13, an awful game, I
Did
thought.
anybody expect anything different from the Pittsburgh Steelers offense against the number one defense in the league is my question.
I expected, in all honesty, when...
Did you see the sacks that Pickett had to suffer?
They weren't even in the first part of the game.
I want to get into that.
The offensive line didn't exist. It was non-existent.
So I thought in the fourth quarter, with what was like a minute something left, when Kenny Pickett had the ball, and it was 10-10, I was like, oh, he's going to go down, and Boswell's going to make the field goal, and we're going to win 13-10. Like, he could stink all game long, just like Tim Tebow did his whole career, and he's going to go down and win the game. And when it didn't happen, I was like, oh.
Right.
And then the defense did not show up at all on that final drive. Like, where was Mr. number 90 on that final drive? That's what I want to know.
And big number 97. This guy here, I haven't seen him. You might find him on the side of a milk carton somewhere. I haven't seen Cam Hayward do anything great. Of course, he missed a lot of the season with his injury.
Highsmith has been MIA as well.
Yeah.
And
you know what I see?
Not having Fitzpatrick really
matchups have a lot to do with it.
And you're
not the number one defense if you can't match up everybody and leave Myles Garrett against your weakest guy, which is what happened. That's kind of what happened.
You know
they
what?
had the matchups.
Speaking of Myles Garrett, the tackles did okay. It was that interior part of the line. Did you see the way they kept stunting and bringing Myles Garrett around, bringing him right up the middle? He tore up the inside of that offensive line. At first, it was really ugly. The safety, the supposed safety.
Oh, it was
play.
there was two safeties there that they didn't call.
Yeah,
I mean the Green Bay Packer lateral. The two safeties that we didn't get out of the end zone. I mean, if Steelers fans complain about a call, I'm like, you can't, we've gotten a few.
You're right. It's been going both ways.
Yeah, right. and same with this game, right?
Yeah.
This game, you've got away with a few games as a Steeler fan, and I don't know. I think what really blew my mind is the celebration over Fire Canada. Like, this is going to change something. Like, this is really going to make a big difference.
I don't see how. I mean, it can't get worse,
either.
honestly. But I don't think it's going to get better.
It can totally get worse. You could not win those close games. You could totally be worse. You could not win another game. And maybe my prediction of 7 wins total for the year actually comes true. I hope that's not the case. But this could go worse.
He's hoping.
Yeah.
This could go worse. I like the schedule. I like the schedule coming down the pike. But then again, some of these teams that they're playing.
Who's the only good quarterback we have to play? Lamar Jackson.
And you know what? He doesn't make it past week 13.
And for the last several years, the Ravens have been in first place. Lamar goes down. The Bengals end up winning the division.
Yeah.
And that's that. So, yeah, we might not even see a good quarterback the rest of the season.
And here's the thing that it really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add up to anything. But I've been saying this all season. There's a pattern. There's a certain pattern. It's going like this. They lost the first game. They win the next 2. They lost the next game. They win the next 2. Lost the next game. Win the next 2. They lost the next game. That's where we're at. So if you're going by patterns, which it's nothing again, we should, in fact, win this game.
Yeah, we're at Cincinnati.
If we're done with the
Farmers
Almanac, if we're done with the Farmers Almanac version of the sports show, then we can just go back a little bit because we need to try and stay more on topic. Because you were saying we don't play any more quarterbacks. I think we just skipped right past that. And then did you see who that the Bengals might have as the quarterback? I don't think it'll happen. Did you see this?
Browning's the guy's name.
No, you didn't see the breaking news today.
Who?
Tom Brady's exercising in Cincinnati.
He's not going there. Come on. That's silly.
That was in okay.
He's talking about me in the Farmer Almanac while he has a scarf on.
Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is definitely
he's
practicing.
a Brown.
From
He's
the
a Brown.
the great football team. That's what I think when I see a scarf. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
I would love to face Joe Flacco
so
at this
we got
point.
Kyler Murray, which you were praising before, but he's going to be kind of.
When did I ever praise Kyler Murray ever in my life?
He hasn't done
When
anything
you beat
well.
the Cardinals because he was no, that was Joe. Maybe that was you.
It was totally not me.
Keep reading the
Kyler Murray
quarterbacks.
he can't even see over the window over here.
Right.
The
Let
one
alone the
quarterback
offensive
that I am
lineman.
worried
I think
about,
the quarterback for the Mighty Midgets of Elwood City is a little taller than him.
Right.
To be honest with
the
you.
one quarterback that I'm concerned about that you're going to read soon is Gardner Minshew. And
For
you
the
may
Colts?
laugh when I say that, but when he was in Jacksonville, when he was in a couple
What's
of
his name? No,
he's
he'll
a
be
good
gone.
football
No,
player.
he'll be
He's a
gone,
good
though.
quarterback. He kind of puts you in mind of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's
He'll be
not great,
backup,
but
though,
he's
right?
going to win football games.
Yeah, but he'll be the backup by December 17th. They're expecting Jefferson is that his name.
Are they?
What model do we think Tom Brady's
They're
dating?
expecting him
back to
back.
the model topic.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then you still have Geno Smith. And then you have Lamar Jackson, which is the only one you're worried about, which is the last game of the
Probably
year.
Miss
And
Universe.
if it gets to the point where you're worried about him at the last game of the year, then that's a good thing. Because
And nobody's worried
But it
about him
shouldn't matter,
because
yeah.
he has
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
historically a terrible time against the Steelers.
Yeah, he struggled against the Steelers for sure.
Very, very.
Well, then
yeah.
again, his receivers dropped how many? Like 9 passes the last time we played him. So I can't totally blame him. But
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to turnovers and things like that to go into the games whenever Lamar faces the Steelers defense, and that could change any given time, obviously.
can I just get something out? Dan Moore Jr. is so bad.
Yeah.
He cannot block me, I don't think. I don't understand how, one, he beat out Broderick Jones at left tackle to start the season, and
Yeah.
two, how he's one on the team and two, a starter. I mean, maybe that's why Kenny Pickett is, foot happy in the pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Was it the first play or the second play that was a safety?
Well, the
Steelers?
first play was a sack, and the second play was the safety. I mean, they were one right next to
the
it.
first play was a safety they didn't call.
Yes.
And,
then it's-
we're going to go into that. We're going to call this conspiracy segment, I think, after the hour. We're going to do it after the hour.
Whatever you guys want to. I definitely
After
want to do
the
a
hour.
conspiracy
I
segment.
want to call it.
I got
I want to
something for
name this segment after the longest word in the dictionary: supercalifragilistic. Epstein didn't kill himself. Episode.
Yeah, we're off topic.
Did you practice that joke? Because it was bad.
Was it?
Yes.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, we're well aware.
Okay. Well, it wasn't that bad.
I think it was bad. Ryan.
That was pretty rough.
Yeah.
That was pretty rough.
A little rough around the
No one
edges.
likes the Epstein jokes. I don't know why. I saw this thing. Speaking of that stuff, they're talking to John Daly about Donald Trump. Is he a good golfer? Oh yeah, he's a good golfer. He hits the ball. I mean, he plays the ball right. He plays golf right. Now I tell you who cheats. Clinton's boy. He cheats. He'll drop a ball before the first one hits the ground, and he won't even putt out until you got a par. No, that's not golf. Donald Trump, no, he don't do that. He plays it out and he plays his game, and he's about a 9 handicap, which is pretty good for a guy that age, right? 9 handicap. I wish I was a 9 handicap. I'm
know.
still trying to break 80.
I haven't golfed since 2019. Just don't have it in me anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I used to play the guitar every day. I don't play the guitar. I used to golf all the time. I don't golf.
Another thing I'm thankful for this year, the Fox Run Golf Course down there in Beaver Falls. Thankful for them. Let me get to play and teach my son how to play. We played a lot of golf this
Why don't you
year.
have any golf dolls? Or is there like a little Tiger Woods one? Little bobblehead?
Again, baseball is the greatest sport on earth, and no one else compares because
A John
no one
Daly
else
doll would
has
be good.
no one else has bobble dolls.
Sean Daly
If football
doll would
was
be
so
cool.
great, where's my Terry Bradshaw bobblehead doll? I imagine there probably is one.
Oh,
I was told at the sports place though that they don't make them.
Well, those
So you can
these
get them,
here
but you can get some made.
probably come very, very inexpensive. They're probably not in demand as much as Steeler ones would be. So
These were all given away at the park. These are all given away at
free,
the
is what
park.
I'm saying. Yes,
Yeah,
in
they have to
other
give
words.
stuff away to get you to go because
Yeah.
nobody wants to go watch the Pirates.
You don't have to give away nice things at the Steeler game because people are going to fill the stadium regardless.
No, these become more rare and more valuable because they're given away and there's a limited edition of numbers made. If you buy one of these at Walmart, there were thousands and thousands and thousands made of Derek Jeter sent all over the country if you bought it from the Major League Baseball thing to whatever, Wally World. These ones that I'm collecting are the ones that only given at the game, and they're a rarity. This is one of 1,000. They only made 1,000, or no, it tells you.
We have really just gone south on this whole segment.
Well, y'all
Didn't
started
the
with
head
the
pop
y'all.
off of that
These
one?
are just my friends, and y'all keep. Whenever I get you in a corner, y'all turn to the doll thing. For some reason, I was on
Who's
a
your
topic.
friends? Like the dolls?
My baseball players. These
Those
my
are your friends?
Yeah.
Oh, Scott, we need to have a
McCutcheon,
different discussion on this.
McCutcheon,
Ladies and gentlemen,
LaRoche.
we might have to go off the air,
McCutcheon.
and Scott might have to call someone and talk to them for the next hour and a half.
Brian Hayes right now is my best friend. He's up front.
Man, I dogged him, and he
Golden Glove.
totally played awesome the final 6 weeks of the season.
Entire year of the season. That's how you win a Golden Glove. You don't get it for half season. You play an entire year. He was hurt for a little while, but he played great.
Yeah,
and because he played great when he was hurt, he didn't hit as well you liked. He didn't fill in the gap of O'Neill Cruz going down. But we're getting on baseball, which I love. Do you want to switch to baseball?
Well, we only have 28 seconds left, so you can talk about it for the next 25 more seconds. And then I'm going to interrupt you and go to commercial. We're going to come back and talk what? Conspiracies?
No, we're going to do that after the hour. No, we're still going to talk about football. Stay on topic.
We do have a lot to talk about.
We need to stay on topic of football. I want to talk about the importance and the role of the
Did Scott
offensive
just say stay on
coordinator.
topic? Again, that's like the third time he said it.
Well, I'm trying.
All right, we'll keep trying. We're going to come back and talk football, according to Scott. You guys have been listening to WBBP 99.3. We're back in just 2 minutes talking NFL.
Have you heard the phrase that champions are made, not born? Well, not only does it take hard work and dedication to become a champion, but you want to look like a champion too. Mr. Trophy is here to make that happen, whether it's on the field or off the field. They have you covered from t-shirts to hoodies, mugs to plaques, yard signs to vinyl banners, awards to trophies. They do all sizes, shapes, and colors. They're your one-stop shop for awards, apparel, gifts, and more. Mr. Trophy is located on Bennett's Run Road near Spotlight 88 in North Swickley. Visit Mr. Trophy's website at mrtrophypa.com.
In order to call the right play, you have to be able to communicate. Dental hygiene not only affects appearance and eating habits, it can also have an impact on your ability to speak clearly. Dr. C. Timothy Lip wants you to keep your teeth in the game, and he has a playbook designed for success so that you can call the right play or even call an audible. Get suited up for a win, or at least a winning smile, by joining Dr. C. Timothy Lip's team in Beaver Falls or Robinson Township. Visit lipdentistry.com.
At Geneva College, your academic experience will prepare you with exceptional expertise in your chosen field. But what you'll learn is so much more than just that. Integrating faith and learning, you'll grow to see God's purpose and calling in your life's work. You'll be challenged to imagine how the world around you could be different and what your part might be in making that difference. You were made to live courageously. Visit geneva.edu today.
They say it's hard to improve on perfection, but Bushy's Electric may have done just that. Over the years, many of you had suggested to Bushy to begin accepting credit cards, and well, he has listened to you. That's right, the trusted old-school electrician in Beaver County is now accepting plastic, so there is no excuse at all to not move ahead with your project. Remember, the older, the dirtier, the more tedious and unique your job is, the more Bushy's Electric likes it. Bushy's Electric has built a business out of doing work that other contractors won't touch, including rewiring old homes that have knob and tube wires. The only thing that will shock you is how affordable and friendly Bushy's Electric is, plus he now accepts credit cards. What could be better? Look for the silver Bushy's Electric superhero van driving around, and then flag Bushy in for a cup of coffee and show him what you need done. It's that easy. Call 724-728-1782. That's Bushy's Electric.
Hey, Peanuts!
Welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. I'm Brian Pasquale here at the St. Barnabas Studios with my co-host Scott Kincaid. Our producer Ryan is here to take your calls at 724-774-1888. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing. Give Scott a call for all your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. That's 412-969-1167. Make sure you get on his gutter cleaning list, have your roof checked. He'll take care of whatever you need. But last segment, Scott, you were adamant that what?
Are we talking about the Steelers-Brown game?
Yes.
Yes. This was the best. It was
Scott
one of the best
thinks
games I've
the
seen
Steelers played well. And
I think it was one of the best games I watched them play.
think in the third quarter, the
was good
defense played
football.
fantastic.
I'm sorry. Well,
Scott said that the Steelers played well. He thought that was a great game. And I think that outside of Jalen Warren and the Steelers' defense in the third quarter, I thought they played horribly.
I would have to agree with you. I mean, there was a couple times where the ball popped out of Deontay Johnson's hands. There was a couple times when there was some miscommunication on offense where the ball landed about 30 yards from where there was any other Pittsburgh Steelers receivers. There was a couple play calls that were sketchy to me when it was 10-10 and we were down in.
What was that screen to? I think it was to Warren, and there was literally 3 Browns there. As soon as he caught it, I'm like, 1, who was blocking those people, and 2, who did you think you were fooling?
And then also on that long, it was like a long. Brian, what was it? It was. I believe we were down in somewhere between their 40 and their 30, and it was a long play. It was like 3rd and 19. And when I seen that they had Najee Harris in the backfield next to Jaylen Warren, that kind of, I thought,
that set us up for the field goal because he got like maybe 5 yards short of the first. Yeah,
and I thought you would at least want to get as much as you can, because if you could get close to a first down, if you could get that, those points are so valuable in a game like this where the score is at a minimum. Brian, why wouldn't you have the guy in there that hasn't been stopped all day? Jaylen Warren was running these guys over like bowling balls, 9 carries, 129 yards. The other guy can't get out of the backfield. I'd have Najee on the bench most of the time, to be honest with you.
Warren, I saw a stat. Warren is like the hardest running back to tackle in the NFL, and there's not even like a close second. He avoids so many tackles.
I got a couple of numbers here for Jaylen Warren. Guys, only 2 players in the NFL have 50-plus forced missed tackles. One of them is Travis Etienne with 53, and the other one is Jaylen Warren with 51 on almost 100 less attempts.
Yeah.
I wonder if they make him like the number 1 running back if that doesn't change.
It seems like each week it's like keeps heading that direction. But
it should be, right? It should be, but
he has 319 yards rushing in the past 3 weeks. Come on, this guy should be.
What he only had 9 touches? And I want to say Najee had 12.
Yes.
Right. So
yes,
I
These
like
are
stats though.
Najee.
You're not giving Warren the ball when it's 3rd and 1. You're giving it to Najee. He has to pick up 2.
No, they go shotgun and then
or whatever.
incomplete pass.
I would go Warren.
You know what I mean? But you're giving
anyway,
Najee short yardage gain plays. You're not giving that to Warren.
He just doesn't
You're
hit the
giving
hole
Warren
the
the ball when they don't know if it's going to be a run or a pass.
If I need a foot, if I need a half yard, I would be giving it to Jaylen Warren because he hits that hole so hard.
And he cuts back too.
You're
he has
right.
a great.
And
he knows when to cut.
Because
He's a play,
he hits the hole
but
so
he's
hard.
getting these calls on play action where Najee Harris is not getting play action plays. We're giving the ball to this guy and he's going to run it down you. And it's just a difference of the play call. And I don't know if you switch the roles. If you do, then Najee Harris is going to become dynamic because he becomes that role and you think Warren is going to be the guy that's going to get you the 2 yards when they're set up to stop you for 2 instead of not knowing what they're going to do. Because you got to look at when he's getting the ball, not just how many times and how many yards, and look at the straight stat that you read off of when you Google NFL, and then you're getting your opinion off of that. If you watch the game,
he runs the ball 9 times.
If you watch the game, Ryan,
I watched it 7 times.
All right, so Warren gets the ball on these opportunity plays. When you I
disagree 100%.
You totally know when you're not.
That's incorrect. He ran the ball 9 times. He had 119 yards. That was through the course of the whole game.
Right. It was first down, second down, third down. It didn't matter. It's not like specific. Like Warren comes out. It's not like he just comes out at third down.
Right.
He plays a series, and then Najee plays a series. And it just goes back and forth. So I don't think it's like situational. I think it's just keeping 2 legs fresh.
Absolutely. I would agree.
You think that Najee Harris and them are and Warren are swapping? All right, you're first down till you get another first down. Then we're swapping running backs. That's not the way I saw the football game.
I don't even understand.
I saw the football game. If it's 3rd and 1, they're handing the ball to Najee Harris. He picks up 2.
It's 3rd and 1. They go shotgun and they don't hand it to anybody. And they throw an incomplete pass. I've seen that a million times.
He throws it out in the flat about 4 yards short of his receiver at his feet is what I see. But I kind of understand what you're saying.
I don't. I'm lost. That's not what I saw. And I watched the game 3 times.
Can we talk about the chicks again?
Yes. Who won? Who was Miss Universe? Like Brazil? It's usually like Brazil or something.
I like them Brazilians.
I have no idea. I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I don't know. I'm not watching to see the winner. They're all winners.
They're all winners in our eyes.
All winners. They're absolutely all winners.
So so moving towards the Bengals game, okay, so we've reflected on the Browns debacle, losing to that team
I appreciate what you're doing, but we still not. You totally still missed the topic. We're on offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but you're talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about with the running backs. That's not what's happening.
Because you guys went into running backs, and I said we're going to stay on topic.
I know, but I don't know what you're talking about. That's not. They don't do situational. They just one person is in for so many plays, and then the next person's in for so many plays. It's not like down and distance. They haven't done that at all.
We haven't had a third down back in a while. You know who I liked? Remember Mueldy Moore? Mueldy Moore was one of my favorite third down backs. I know I'm off subject, but we just don't have that third down back anymore.
Fu,
he was fun.
Okay.
But who has been our last third down running back? I don't think we've had one in a while. They tried McFarland last year, but
So what you're telling me though is that we're going to go back to offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So what you're telling me is if you were, let's just put yourself in Matt Canada's shoes.
Okay.
While these plays are going on, while he's calling plays, and one of the running back plays is to go straight up the middle, power run play.
I'd run
you know what?
Jalen Warren.
I'm going to give the ball. Well, he's giving it to Najee Harris. He's your power back.
this is the problem.
He's your power back.
It's a problem.
Okay, so now we're going to do a sweep running
He's the
play.
power back.
We're
Let me
going to do a
ask you
sweep
this.
running play. The
Now,
play
you
is
can look at the
different,
numbers,
not the amount of
but let
plays
me
you're
ask
going
you
in.
this.
No, you're not going to let me talk.
No.
I'm trying. I'm
Okay,
dead
talk.
serious. This is what I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to explain to you, numbnuts.
Okay.
This is the difference.
It's not what's happening.
The plays are
I-
It's
different.
totally not
this out.
happening. 100% not happening.
So show me one play. Pull it up on your phone. Show me one play. You've watched it 3 times where Warren was a
7
power back
times.
running up the middle, and he was able to bust through and get an extra 2 or 3 yards. No, that's not what he does. He breaks tackles and runs around, and he's the sweep running back. I'm telling you, if you go into to the playbook, there's plays for Najee Harris to run,
Right.
and there's plays for Warren to run,
Correct.
and they're not interchangeable. They're not
I'm
interchangeable.
sure there are. You're right. I'm sure
And
you're
this is probably the
100%
reason
right.
why the coordinator got fired is because why are you doing this when Najee Harris is just as capable as Warren or
I don't
vice
think that
versa?
he is at this
Yeah,
point.
I don't think so either.
Because of the stats
His
and the plays that are getting
no,
drawn
the
up.
game that you watch would show you that Warren was more successful. He ran for 120.
Warren was the offense. Not that Najee was terrible, but he wasn't the offense.
You could watch the performance and you could watch the numbers, and I
I
would
watched
say
Broderick
I
Jones
would
get
say
out
that
there and-
Jalen Warren had a better game. Would you not agree?
I don't know. I'm asking you because it's going to get to my point, which is offensive coordinator. So if you're telling me is that we're talking about players, then the offensive coordinator doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what play you call for which player because we're going to just rate them based on this. And certain plays and certain things are better for certain players, and you try to pull up plays that make your players do well and not do bad. And so you're telling me that it just didn't work out well for Najee Harris was bad and not Matt Canada.
I'm just saying that he didn't have the game that Jalen Warren is. All I'm saying, he didn't have the same game that Jalen Warren.
He didn't have a 70-some yard touchdown run. I know that.
And on 9
Right.
carries, he didn't have 120 yards, and that's all I'm saying.
But it has nothing to
I'm
do
not-
with
I'm not
offense.
seeing
You
the
don't think it has
correlation.
anything to do with the offensive coordinator. You think it has something to do with athletic ability
Well,
of running backs.
Well, yes and no, of course. Of course, the coordinator has something to do with it because, he's the offensive coordinator. But on the other hand, the guys have to go out there and perform and execute, which they did.
Yeah, Matt Canada did not block
Right.
Myles Garrett. I mean, Broderick
So a
Jones
new
went out
offensive
there.
coordinator, do you think is going to make Najee Harris better, worse?
I don't think anything's going to change much.
I don't think much is going to change either. I think, we are in a sense, and it's going to take a good offensive coordinator to come in. We're going from within. We're going with our running back coach and our.
Well, you just said earlier, now that we're moving forward.
We are moving forward. We fired Matt Canada.
Backwards. You're moving backwards.
Well,
I
in
would
order
say,
for
I would
us,
say like
You're
a,
moving backwards.
a
You're
lateral
moving
move.
backwards because you just said it won't make a difference. It won't make a difference if whatever the offense coordinator is. It won't make a difference. It will make a difference because now you got a brand new guy.
Yeah, but it's the same
brand new guy,
plays,
middle of
same
the
calls.
season.
So do you see?
That's not
do you
forward. That's
see-
backwards.
do you
That's
see-
why they don't do this in the middle of the season. This should be a sign for everybody that wears the Steeler uniform that something ain't right here. We're not going forward. We're going backwards, and we're trying to point fingers and make
I
excuses.
think you're really
I think
looking
you're-
at it
I
from
think
a
that's a
different
good
angle
point.
because moving forward, I'm talking in a sense they finally made a move personnel wise. I'm not saying that one of these two guys that's stepping up and forming that offensive coordinator position is going to be a great improvement, and that's the big move. I think this was the necessary move that needed to be made to move forward.
I don't think, and on a side note, outside of the offensive coordinator, I think you guys jumped on Najee Harris. I like Najee Harris.
I like him too.
I like his position and role, regardless of the stats. He is your power guy. The reason why that's not working is because there's a quarterback that's not making, you know what I mean?
Oh,
the quarterback's not making himself a threat that opens up this opposition or this opportunity for Najee Harris
the run
to
opens
play
up the
that
pass,
game.
but on the other hand, the pass also has to open up the run. If you want to be a successful offense, they have to be able to play off one another, and it's been very difficult to get that going this year. And that's due to the quarterback, that's due to the running back, that's due to the coordinator. There's a lot of things that go into that.
What do you expect this weekend before we go to break? We're going to go into next week.
Pittsburgh Steelers 24, Cincinnati Bengals 13. That is what I expect. I think the Steelers offense is going to do a little bit more against the number 30th defense in the league. I think that we're going to stop Browning, this quarterback Browning in Cincinnati. I believe Pittsburgh 24, Cincinnati 13 is where I'm at the break.
Are we going to talk Steelers Bengals when we come back, Scott?
That sounds awesome.
All right. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. You guys have been listening to WBBP 99.3, and we'll see you in 2.
TEK Roofing Specialists are known for quality, honesty, and efficiency. You can reach them at 412-969-1167. Whether it's a small leak or a new roof, TEK Roofing Specialists will fix the problem. Check out TEK Roofing on Facebook to see quality work they've done. TEK Roofing uses only the best products like Tamco's Titan XT Premium Shingles with a 160-mile-per-hour wind warranty. That's TEK Roofing Specialists, 412-969-1167. Insured, licensed, and certified.
Tune into the Coach's Corner on Beaver County Radio every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. You can tune in by turning your radio dial to Beaver County Radio or by clicking the audio streaming apps on your phone or computer. You can also watch the video stream of the show on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. The Coach's Corner is being brought to you by Keystone Wellness Program, Patriot Home Care, the Grand Valley Inn, the Community College of Beaver County, the Beaver County Career and Technical Center, Falcones Moon Township Ford, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, St. Barnabas Dental and Dr. Peter J. Montini, Goldberg, Persky and White, Friendly Federal Credit Union, the J&J Spratt Funeral Home, Geneva College, Carver Construction, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca, Beaver County Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Nissan, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, Fisher's New Brighton Foodland, and Beaver County Radio.
Pittsburgh Penguins hockey is back on Beaver County Radio.
Crosby out the center. Tried to get around the stick, and McAvoy does. On the backhand, centers in front. Russ flips it on net and scores! That was magical!
Tune in all season long as the revamped Pittsburgh Penguins are on a quest to win their 6th Stanley Cup championship. Penguins hockey on Beaver County Radio is being brought to you by the St. Barnabas Health System, Falcones Moon Township Ford, Patriot Home Care, Friendly Federal Credit Union, the Keystone Wellness Program, and Beaver County Radio. Hey, Peanuts!
Welcome back to the Hey Peanuts Sports Show. I'm Brian Pasquale here at the St. Barnabas Studios with my co-host Scott Kincaid. Our producer Ryan is here to take your calls at 724-774-1888. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing. Give Scott a call for all your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. That's 412-969-1167. $150 gutter cleaning. Get on his list. He'll inspect your roof for free.
First caller to call in tonight and tell me who the offensive coordinator was for Terry Bradshaw gets a free gutter cleaning.
I know the answer.
And inspection.
Oh, I'm calling right now.
It's amazing to me because that to me is the greatest Steeler team that ever was. And to me, probably the greatest team in the NFL history. That's my opinion. So, interestingly enough, don't call in. Don't even try to Google it because you're not going to find it because it didn't exist. There just wasn't an offensive coordinator in the 70s. It wasn't until 1983 that they hired one. And let me tell you something.
They needed one for Mark Malone.
I looked at a list of these names, and every one of them had a fire that guy chant go on during his career. It seems to be the scapegoat. Nobody wants to be this guy. That's why they couldn't find nobody. That's why Mike Canada had a terrible resume. Is because they can't find anybody to fill these shoes or do this position. is what I'm guessing. Because I mean, why can't
But a
we
lot
get
of
somebody to make the
coordinators
calls?
go on to be head coaches and great head coaches, though.
Well, tell that to Josh McDaniels. Hey, you on the phone, Joel?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it seems like I just saw you today. Oh my goodness.
Well, you
just can't
did.
get enough
You
of me,
just
can you,
did.
buddy?
Joel, I think I'm going to see you Friday.
Hey, this is my time to hang out with Brian.
There you go.
When he called through, Scott, he introduced himself. He said, "Hey, this is Jerome."
That's right. He's been Jerome all week.
Really?
So if you guys didn't pay attention last week, Ryan misunderstood his name, and I have Jerome on the line, and it was Joel. So we've had fun with that.
Multiple times. I heard him say his name, and I still got Jerome out of it.
Joel, did you call on with any specific topic in mind?
I just wanted to jump in a little bit about. I know you guys have been discussing the Steelers, big news of the year and the reactions behind that, and I take a little bit of everybody's opinion of everything you guys have been saying, and my personal belief on the big picture of this thing is more of a message being sent to the entire team and organization that we got to tighten up.
Right.
In the sense of this is not just Kenny Pickett, but yes, has something to do with him. It's not just the offensive linemen, but it does have something to do with them. It's not just the running back, but he has something to do with them. And you got to make a change that's going to shake up the organization. I think, they did something unprecedented. Just so everybody else open their eyes and get to work. So I feel that it was not just the coordinator's fault, majorly the coordinator's fault, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit of everybody needing to do their job.
Like kind of like a kick in the butt. Like, hey, everybody individually needs to play better in order for us to make the playoffs.
Yeah, correct. And this is not about how many carries am I getting, how many yards am I getting, am I open and you're not throwing the ball to me. It's like, listen, we got to get to work, and we got to do this as a team. And I'm not afraid to make big changes, including getting the offensive coordinator out of the list right in the middle of the season if that's what he's going to take. So I feel also now Kenny Pickett doesn't have an excuse why to not perform. It's no longer is there a coordinator not doing the job when now you're going to have your right-hand man, which is the quarterback's coach, calling the plays. Now, if you don't perform, we can no longer say it's Canada at that point.
Now, do you think Pickett will start to improve, or do you think it's going to be more of the same?
Here's my take on that. There's certain things that we don't get to see, obviously, as spectators and as fans, and it is what happens behind the scenes. I don't know what kind of communication and relationship Canada has with Pickett. What kind of I disagree with you. I don't know what you're doing. I always found kind of strange that Canada was calling plays all the way from the booth and never together with the players. Is he not a people's person? If he's difficult to communicate with, is Kenny Pickett?
I think what was Ken Dorsey for the Bills, he got fired too, and he was also a guy in the booth. I think there's only two that were not down with the players, and they both got fired this year.
Yeah.
Well,
correct.
But he was down on the field the last 2-3 games, right?
3 games, yeah.
Yeah, but basically they had to make him go down there. Mike Tomlin had to make that change. All I'm trying to say is Kenny Pickett nervous around this man because he's afraid of failing because of the way he treats him? I don't know this answers. So I think we're going to be able to see very early next game how free he's playing. I feel like Kenny Pickett plays afraid from the very first snap. I think Matt made this comment earlier.
Timid.
First snap
Timid is a
in,
better
he's
word.
Already kind of like he's already kind of like a deer in the headlights. Kind of like, everything's happening too fast for him.
I'll tell you what, y'all, and I was thinking about exactly what you just said. Now, when I was in high school, I was the point guard for my basketball team, and I had to run the plays. Whatever coach called, I had to run the plays, and I had to start the offense. And in my head all the time, I'm like, God, I could just take my guy to the hole, but nope, I've got to go and run this play. And it made me not as good as I could be because I was forcing myself to do something that I wasn't seeing as the coach on the court.
Correct.
I'm always correct, Joel, except for when I'm incorrect.
Well,
except for when you're wrong.
Going to what Joel said, you know what? I think that we're going to see with Kenny Pickett over these next few games. Maybe we're going to see that throw down the middle of the field. Maybe we're going to see more throws downfield. Hopefully, we see less of these plays that go directly out to the running back. He drops back and he hits that guy. This is what I think we're going to see difference. Whether we see an improvement, that's yet to be determined. I don't think that we could call that quite yet, but I think that we are going to see him put in different positions now to maybe, as I said, throw the ball in the middle of the field, which you see barely. I can't tell you. We could probably count on one hand how many times we've thrown the ball to the middle of the field over the past 3 or 4 weeks. It's insane. But I think you're going to see him put in other positions where fans were saying, why don't he throw down the middle of the field? Is this Canada or is this Pickett? We're going to see
Tomlin.
Tomlin. We're going to see a change. But like I said, depending on his success is going to depend on what he can do on the field.
He's really efficient on his progressions, and I've noticed that in his progressions, the first progression, if that guy's wide open, he throws it. He does the Tom Brady thing, and he just throws it, and that's why you're seeing the short passes. And then once you get past the second and third and fourth progressions, then it becomes, I don't know if he's open, and it becomes a little bit more difficult where it's real
Ben made
easy.
A living off of
it's
that.
real easy on your first. If the first guy you're looking at's open, you throw it to him. That's the name of the game. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of little throws, and then in the long throws or the ones downfield, the progression is just taking a little too much time, and we don't have an offensive line to protect him, and he's scared to death,
ask you this
and he's probably
real
going to
quick.
get sacked.
Another thing that you've noticed, watching football, one thing that you've always noticed is when a blitz is coming, where does the quarterback, a good veteran quarterback, throw the ball?
Throws it right where the blitz came from.
Kenny, what was the last time you seen him throw at the blitz? I mean, seriously, he throws at the hands of the blitz, but when is the last time you've seen him go to that part of the field? I rarely, and again, is this a Kenny thing or is this a coaching thing? I think we'll find out a little bit more over these next couple of weeks.
What was the play where he threw it downfield to the right sideline and there was nobody within 30 yards of the ball?
That's being written off as a miscommunication. Apparently, when the blitz, when something happened, Deontay was supposed to know to go where Kenny threw it, and
Deontay saying, "No, I was supposed to go here."
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if it was Pickens or Deontay on that play.
Hey, Joel.
And I just yeah.
No, go ahead.
Right.
Say what you're going to say.
Oh my God, Joel! What is this mind trick you have over Scott? My Lord.
I've never seen anybody be able to shut him up like this.
He's earned my respect, Brian. You should learn that.
So my point with Scott's comment about you go to the first person that is open and whatnot. I think one of the issues that I seen, and I'm no football expert, but I try to listen to the experts. I try to watch the game. I try to watch what other people do, and a lot of times you have to what you call timing routes. And when you talk about deep passes, all those passes normally are made while the receiver is still not open. Mm-hmm. You trusting that route's going to open him as the throw goes to him. Kenny Pickett, I feel that has some issues with those type of throws right now. So anything that can open in the 2 seconds that he has to throw always is going to be the short route, just because the longer routes aren't open when you let the ball go. That's going to happen as that progresses. So that's why we see him always thrown to the side, always thrown to the short passes.
Less opportunity for turnovers that way too, which he has less turnovers.
Correct.
You're correct. Yeah, you're right.
Which is right. That's not an argument with him. He has not turned the ball over. Is that we're not getting first downs. We're throwing 2-yard passes when we're third and 11.
There's just no results.
We're behind.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, his passing stats look like it's the 60s before the forward pass was invented. I know, before the 60s.
It looks at Roethlisberger's. It looks at Big Ben's stats in his first year in the league when he had the best defense in the world and an amazing line with running back.
There used to be a stat with Ben, and I remember for those first 2, 3, 4 seasons, and the national guys never caught on until they realized Ben was actually really good. It was always, if Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball 20 times or less, the Steelers win. If he throws it over 20 times, they lose. And I'm like, well, yeah, probably because they're playing from behind, you idiots.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Right.
Yeah. So those are stats. I don't trust stats 100%. I mean, you look at the course of a season, that may tell you some things, but stats are stats. You got to watch a game, see what the situation is, how those yards even came about. Matt Ryan, think about Matt Ryan. How many garbage yards does he have in his career?
Yeah,
So there's a lot of little things that I don't let stats guide.
Yeah, you have to put stats in perspective.
What's happening? Correct. So I think we will see changes. What happens with offensive coordinators, in my opinion, is now they have a menu that they have to go with. They're not going to be implementing a ton of new plays. That just does not happen. This guy just took over yesterday, and we have to have a game plan yesterday. So they're going to use the same menu. Now you're going to have a different guy making the calls, which is Kenny Pickett's right-hand man. So you're hoping that they will pull from the menu that Canada was not using. And we will see more things being changed. At least they're going to try to see if he can make those things happen or not. Therefore, I feel like there's going to be more turnovers because they're going to force a few things here and there.
Yep. Hey, are you going to be around here for a little while? We're going to go to break here. I want to get your annual what you're thankful for, and I want to get your opinion on tomorrow's games. I know you're a big fan of Thanksgiving football and what you think about Friday's game. Black Friday, we got a game. It's the first time they've ever done a game on Friday. You gonna be around, Joel?
Yes, I'll be around. I'll hold and I'll be around for a few more minutes.
All right, it's just gonna be 2 minutes. We'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll have Joel's what he's thankful for on the other side. You've been listening to WBBP 99.3, and we'll see you in 2.
What's your favorite Christmas song? We all have our own. It just takes a few notes to make you recognize them right away. Now those songs that ring a bell can win you a delicious box of chocolates, compliments of Roseland's Candy Castle. Tune into Beaver County Radio's Telephone with Eddie Crow at 9:10 a.m. each Monday and play the Christmas Carol Challenge. We'll play just a few notes from popular holiday songs, and you guess the name. It's that easy. Listen for Roseland Candy Castle's Christmas Carol Challenge each Monday right here on Beaver County Radio. Beaver County Radio has been your home for high school football for over 75 years, and the tradition continues this Friday when we have live coverage of all 4 WPIAL football championship games from Acrisure Stadium. Coverage starts on WBVP 99.3 FM and the WBVP online stream at 10:30 a.m., and it will continue through the Quad A Championship. WPIAL Championship coverage from Acrisure Stadium is being brought to you in part by the Keystone Wellness Program, Patriot Home Care, the Grand Valley Inn, the Community College of Beaver County, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Drug-Free Aliquippa, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Tri-State McDonald's, Right Way Mobility, and Moon Township Ford, among others. It's the 2023 WPIAL Football Championships from Acrisure Stadium this Friday on Beaver County Radio.
Have you heard the phrase that champions are made, not born? Well, not only does it take hard work and dedication to become a champion, but you want to look like a champion too. Mr. Trophy is here to make that happen, whether it's on the field or off the field. They have you covered from t-shirts to hoodies, mugs to plaques, yard signs to vinyl banners, awards to trophies. They do all sizes, shapes, and colors. They're your one-stop shop for awards, apparel, gifts, and more. Mr. Trophy is located on Bennett's Run Road near Spotlight 88 in North Swickley. Visit Mr. Trophy's website at mrtrophypa.com.
Hey, Peanuts!
Welcome back to the Hey Peanuts Sports Show. I'm Brian Pascal here at the same part of his studios with my co-host Scott Kincaid. Our producer Ryan is here to take your calls at 724-843-1888. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies. TEK Roofing gives Scott a call for all of your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. Also, make sure you get down to Just One More Sports Bar on 7th Avenue and 10th Street in downtown Beaver Falls. We do have Joel on the line still. Joel, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here, sir.
I think Scott wanted to ask you a question.
Well, we went around the corner here, or around the room here, about what we were thankful about this year.
He yelled at me about my answer.
But your answer was... Your answer was as interesting as the Bubblehead Blondes Miss Universe. What would you?
So very interesting.
I'm curious now.
Yeah.
I am very curious.
World peace. I just want world peace.
No, I just said I was thankful for being healthy. My daughter healthy, my family healthy, my health. That was it. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. I was trying to get
great.
more.
So don't steal my answer, Joel.
Yeah.
He should be upset about your health.
I threw the cookie cutter out of the room. You can't do the cookie cutter answer.
Scott was thankful for like the
We'll get
midget
enough of
football
that.
team in Elwood. So that was his answer.
I was thankful for the Hey Peanut Sports Show. I was thankful for you, Brian. I could retract that before the end of the hour.
He already has in his head.
I'm definitely thankful for Joel and the TEK roofing specialist.
You guys are doing some work at my parents' house Friday morning, right?
Yeah, we're going to be out there
Oh,
Friday
I
morning.
heard. That's right.
Yes, I'll see you Friday morning. We got to get their porch taken care of. Take a gutter down, disconnect it from a downspout, put up some wood, reconnect the gutter downspout.
I think the reason I want to hear Joel's answer over both of you guys is because I know the man personally that he just appreciates life more than all of us. I model myself to try to appreciate life as much as Joel does. So what in the world could you do on Thanksgiving that would top what you do every day, Joel? What are you most thankful for? And I know you're going to say Mario and oh goodness,
And Marco.
I almost said Nico.
Yeah.
Well, I only met Marco once. Mario I worked with. I know him a little closer.
Yes. Well, here I'll give you a very short version of it, but I grew up with no Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was never a thing growing up. I basically had to adopt the culture moving to the United States from the Dominican Republic, and my very first Thanksgiving, I was living in upstate New York in a very small apartment. It's about a group of 4 Dominicans that we all came over here, and one of the ladies from the administration department decided to do a Thanksgiving dinner with all the Dominicans and the Brazilians that were part of the the football team. I'm saying football, soccer team, in our college. We got all together, and that day I realized how important friendship was going to become in my life, since I was no longer going to have family near me in the distance, right? Because they were all in a different country. So building friendships for me became a whole different ballgame that day once I realized the importance of having the people that I had around me that specific dinner on my very first Thanksgiving in the United States. So for all the 22 years, I am thankful for the friends that I've made and the friends that are very close to me, because that's the family that I count on while my family lives in a different country. And those are the people that today I call family, including Mario and Marco, which are my 2 sons.
Is it weird when you call home tomorrow to your folks and go, "Hey, happy Thanksgiving," and then they hang up the phone and they're like, "Hey, there he is with that Thanksgiving thing again. That's Joel." Like they're not celebrating it down there, but I think it's really cool that you're thankful for Thanksgiving, and that is really cool when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever says that. I'm thankful
when
for
you have it.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you take it for granted when you have it all your life, you know. So did I growing up with a bunch of stuff that I don't have here in Pittsburgh, in the Dominican, man. The beach, the sun, you know, coconut trees in the backyard, you know.
It was 41 degrees today. What do you mean you don't have it, Joel?
We were pressure washing. We had a special order. Somebody wanted something pressure washed for their holidays, and Joel and I went out there and couldn't find anybody to do it with us, so we went and did it ourselves, and we were frozen. My feet are still wet. If I take have you ever had that? Your feet get wet, and you're afraid if you take them off that you don't have any other shoes, that it'd just be worse putting them back on. So you just leave them on.
Yeah, leave them on, Scott. Leave them on.
And now what?
No, I'll tell you something, Joel. Growing up for me,
good.
Thanksgiving meant Detroit Lions and Cowboys football, and so let's just go ahead and get back into sports before we have to let you go.
What the Lions play?
The
at
Lions
noon?
and the Packers. This is like classic, right, Brian? Did you remember watching this? Irrelevant game for many years.
The Lions. I always liked their uniforms, but they were always bad.
It was always great, but Barry Sanders was awesome to watch.
He was.
It was his prime time.
But they're good now.
Game.
The Lions are
They're
good.
Now they're good. They're probably the best team in the NFL, if you ask me.
They're
One
up there.
of. I expect to see them at least contending. You just never know. It's like dominating Cowboy team that gets eliminated in the first round. Again, Cowboys are playing the Commanders. They gave us 3 games.
Yeah, what's the late game?
The 49ers and the Seahawks, which is to me a great matchup. I think that's an absolutely wonderful game to watch to end your Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'll stay awake. The late games get me every time. Now you're adding Thanksgiving
Isn't it like Geno
dinner.
Smith kind of hurt?
Ryan? Well,
he's ever there busy writing stuff down.
I'm doing last minute homework. I'm looking at your picks from last week, and I'm seeing if these guys won or lost.
we don't care. We're thankful that we don't care.
Scott's losing. Now who plays on Friday? What time is that?
Oh, on Friday it's the Jets and the Dolphins, right?
The Dolphins.
Right.
Yes.
What time is that?
That
Is that like an afternoon game?
1:30.
That's a 3 p.m.
Oh,
game.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock game.
So 4 football games in the next 48 hours.
That is awesome.
That is pretty awesome. It's less games on Sunday, but you don't get to watch them all anyway. So,
right,
all as much as you'd like to, unless you have the NFL package and you have 16.
No, what
televisions.
I watched the first half of the Steelers game at my parents' by myself, and it was awesome because the play would happen, and I would just rewind it and watch the play again immediately, and it was awesome. So the whole first half, I got to watch like 2 or 3 times every play.
Nice.
That's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
Who do you like on the Thanksgiving? Who's getting the turkey leg? Should I say for the Lions?
Well,
is it going to Jared Goff?
I'm going to go with the Lions yet. I'm going to say be very careful with the Packers. If you've seen them play the past couple of weeks, and Jordan Love kind of like coming along a little bit better. They won last week. So they're coming out of a win. I know the Lions are hot, and I know we talked about the Lions and how good of a team they are. I'm still taking the Lions, but it may not be a big of a blowout as a lot of people may think.
Oh, I'm not expecting the blowout. In fact, I think you look at history here. It is Thanksgiving. It's a Thursday game. It's a different kind of game. It just different is. And the Packers own the Lions on Thanksgiving. I don't know if you know the history of that, but they absolutely own the Lions. This game doesn't always happen. The Lions always play, but they don't always play against the Packers on this. Is a big game throughout history. This used to be, the rivalry game. And because the Lions were so bad for so many years and the Packers had Brett Favre and they had Aaron Rodgers, it just seemed like it was a one-sided matchup. But I don't know. We'll see. What do you think about the Commanders and the Cowboys, or as Brian would say, the Washington football team? I don't know why you have a problem with Commander.
It's a terrible name.
I have to say that is the Cowboys all the way. I don't think the Commanders have enough to especially Cowboys at home. I don't think there's a chance there.
Yeah, I think you're looking in the right direction there with that one, but you just never know. It's the Cowboys. They have a way of losing the worst game. They lost to Arizona, but they have been looking good. So I will give you that one. What about the Seahawks and 49ers?
Ooh,
this is in
one.
This is in Seattle. This is the loudest stadium in the country.
Yes,
my favorite stadium.
That is a tough one. That is a tough one. I'm not sure what Geno Smith's health is going to be like on Thursday. So I'm going to take the 49ers on this one.
I like the way the 49ers looked last week. I did not think they were going to bounce back. Brock Purdy seems like that was a 1-week injury, and he looked like the guy like he was at the end of the year last year. And then I guess Friday, the Dolphins at the Jets. I don't know if we even need to ask you this. I already know what you're going to say, but because you're a Miami guy, right? Deep down, you're a Miami guy. I know you. And the Jets just don't look like they got it, but then they somehow got it. Like every time I think this team is going to tank, they turn around and win a game against somebody. So Dolphins are coming off of some pretty bad losses. We'll see. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen there in New Jersey?
I'm going Dolphins. They're coming out of a bye week. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be ready to go. I see the Dolphins taking this one. The Jets are going with their, I don't even know the name of this kid. They demoted Wilson, so whoever's coming now,
Neowana Weenie.
Yeah,
Something
so
like that.
I don't see them be able to pull this game against the Dolphins. Now you got Jalen Ramsey healthy also. The Dolphins, he's playing lights out right now on the defense for the Dolphins. So I think that's the Dolphins all the way.
And it's still not too cold up north for the weather to be a major factor for the Dolphins. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially if it's not going to be rain, snow, or anything like that. You think about anything about 40 is still pretty decent for them to have no issues up there.
I agree.
Joel, we have less than a minute. What's your predictions for the Steelers at the Bengals?
Oh, I'm going to go Steelers, and I'm going to take this one. I don't think the Steelers, with all the changes, are going to score a ton of points, but I'm going to go 21. I'm going to go 21-13 on this game. Steelers taking it just because there's no Burrow, and Bengals defense is pretty suspect. It's not the Browns.
Yeah,
so,
it's the opposite of the Browns defense.
They're number 30. The Browns were number 1. So.
Yep. So I'm definitely going 21-13 on that one.
Well,
interesting philosophy.
Joel, thanks for joining us. You have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll look forward to seeing you Friday morning as well.
Happy Thanksgiving, my
guys.
man.
Happy Thanksgiving,
always so
Joel.
good to make the calls. Always make good making this call and chat with you guys. You'll have a good Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys soon.
All right,
buddy.
Take care.
God bless you.
All right, you guys have been listening to WBBP 99.3. We'll be back in 2 minutes talking more football.
At Geneva College, your academic experience will prepare you with exceptional expertise in your chosen field. But what you'll learn is so much more than just that. Integrating faith and learning, you'll grow to see God's purpose and calling in your life's work. You'll be challenged to imagine how the world around you could be different and what your part might be in making that difference. You were made to live courageously. Visit geneva.edu today.
In order to call the right play, you have to be able to communicate. Dental hygiene not only affects appearance and eating habits, it can also have an impact on your ability to speak clearly. Dr. C. Timothy Lip wants you to keep your teeth in the game, and he has a playbook designed for success so that you can call the right play or even call an audible. Get suited up for a win or at least a winning smile by joining Dr. C. Timothy Lip's team in Beaver Falls or Robinson Township. Visit lipdentistry.com.
Hi, this is Bob Barrickman here for Fry Transportation. When it comes to school buses in Beaver County, it sure is hard not to notice the shiny Fry Transportation fleet. Fry Transportation has been a local family-owned Beaver County business for over 30 years. As any successful football team must be dependable and reliable, these same qualities have made Fry Transportation a champion operation. Best wishes to all local teams and safe travels to the gridirons this season. From your friends at Fry Transportation.
Thanks for tuning in to Beaver County Radio, created by local people in the St. Barnabas studio. 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
Hey, Peanuts!
Welcome back to the Hey Peanut Sports Show. I'm Brian Pasquale here at the St. Barnabas Studios with my co-host Scott Kincaid. Our producer Ryan is here to take your calls at 724-774-1888. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing. Give Scott a call for all of your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. Also, make sure you get down to Just One More Sports Bar on 7th Avenue and 10th Street in downtown Beaver Falls. This is one of my favorite topics of all time, and I don't want to get into too much outside of sports, but we are going to be talking conspiracy, and as we all know, in the 1800s, the Rothschilds family started central banks over in England, France, Germany. They brought it over to the United States. So basically, our founding fathers wanted to get away from central banks. Everybody says we wanted to get away from England, but we really wanted to get away from the bankers owning our money and controlling us. Unfortunately, they got a hold of us in 1913, creating the Federal Reserve, which it's just a fancy name for a central bank that's privately owned by, the names like Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, and whatnot. beyond that, there's the aliens conspiracies. There's
Let me
the
ask you,
lizard
Brian.
people conspiracy. Yes,
Did you see the Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket go up the other day?
I did not.
Okay, so there's mad amounts of fuel that comes out the back of this rocket as it's taking off. Okay, mad amounts. The amount of fuel that's coming out of the back of this thing.
So it's not green.
No, it's definitely not green. Now, if you would look at that machine that they flew to the moon with in 1969. Explain to me, at that time when it was more likely that the spaceship was a gas gobbler compared to now, just like our cars were compared to now, where was all the gas stored that actually was able to get us clear to the moon?
If you think they went
fuel,
to the moon,
I don't think they went to the moon.
I know they didn't go to the moon.
And for them to come back...
You don't think they went to the moon?
Oh, they absolutely did not.
No,
not a chance.
But
oh my god!
But look at the pod. Look at the machine they were there, and you've seen the machine that was made out of aluminum foil that they try to say is what they
I'm
flew to the
regretting
moon
this
on.
conspiracy theorist segment already. We went to the moon.
No,
we totally went to the moon.
It's totally impossible. And here's the
We went to
reason.
the moon. I had top secret clearance in the United States Marine Corps. We went to the moon.
And I disagree with you respectfully.
that's fine.
I will do the same.
I respectfully disagree. And I also say, Brian, where would the fuel alone have been in that pod that you saw on the moon that would be enough fuel to take you from Earth to the moon?
The car they drove to Arizona in the desert to film it.
And to do whatever they did on the moon and to fly all the way back, there simply was not enough fuel. There's not enough room.
They didn't have the
There's
technology
not
for the
enough
suits.
scientific knowledge in here, guys, to fill up a first grade classroom. So we're going to just skip to the next thing because you don't know enough about science. That's why. You don't know enough about science.
You're wrong.
You don't need.
I do know enough about
You don't
science.
need enough fuel to come back from the moon because you don't have
There's
to.
no gravity on the moon?
There's a little.
If you want something to move, it needs fuel.
but not
no
the
matter-
same
no
amount
matter-
to reach, not to get out of the atmosphere.
Have you seen the machine that they supposedly landed on the moon with? Is made out of aluminum foil
In person.
And the boarding
in person,
is-
it's almost as big as this building.
Let me tell you, the panel on the outside of the machine is warped in the pictures when they were on the moon. How could something be airtight?
No,
Listen,
so-
shh. How could something be airtight? How could something be airtight on the moon
He's
if
deflating,
the
folks.
panels are warped and doesn't keep?
Here's my question to
It's-
Scott. If we could go to the moon in 1960s, right? Why can't we go to the moon now? We just
There
forgot
are.
the technology.
There's 12 Japanese people living on the moon right now as we speak.
No, we.
China.
We can't get
we.
a rocket out of the atmosphere. We just watched another one
NASA can't
explode
get there.
over the weekend. I watched Elon Musk's rocket explode over the weekend because it couldn't get out of the atmosphere. 53 years later, whatever it is.
Elon Musk is not the United States.
Yeah, he has way more money and way more
But he is
resources
not
than
the
the United
United States.
States.
He is not NASA.
And way less debt.
You don't
is-
see this happening with U.S. With NASA ships either. You don't see them exploding once they get to a certain point. This is actually happening. These
They totally blew up a bunch. And I was in high school. The space shuttle blew up
No, we're
right
talking
there in
about
front
right
of
now.
everybody and all of God's creation.
Yeah, I was
and
watching
just
it.
Right.
I think I was in 6th grade.
what for the
Scott was-
Challenger?
Yeah, when the
We were
teacher
in
went up.
elementary school.
Yeah, I think we were in 6th grade. I think it was.
Yeah, I was a little bit younger.
Yeah, we
but-
were born.
So back in the 60s,
we were born way before
back in the
when you were
60s,
born.
when they were going to the moon,
They
they
never went to
were
that.
afraid. They were afraid there was a lot of buildup, and we want to be able to televise this. And so this is where the conspiracy comes up. But it's
You know
been
there's about-
released. That's been released, and so they've already proven that they did create fake pictures in Hollywood just in case they weren't able to get live feed or television feed from the moon because nobody's been to the moon to know if it was even possible.
And it was awfully
And
seamless.
so they did
the
see
communications that they did
do
have
it,
between
and the
moon and
conspiracy.
Earth.
The conspiracy lies within the headquarters of ABC network, who decided, but that's not enough footage. Give them what you got from Hollywood. They'll never know. They'll never know.
Ain't that a problem?
Who's gonna know?
Isn't
Who's
that
gonna
a
know? It
problem?
caused this controversy. What about Bigfoot? You believe Bigfoot exists?
I have no idea.
I
Do
don't
you?
believe in Bigfoot. No.
It's because the guy that created it, when he died 2 years ago, or it was not even 2 years ago, when he died, he left it in his will to go here to this safety deposit box, and here's all the original, the outfit, the tape, the everything that from the original Bigfoot. I created the very first scam, and I wanted it to
I've never
stay
heard
a
this
scam.
either. Not that I believe in them, but
Because there's too many TV shows out there now. It just discredits all of those. But the guy that created it, who passed away, blew the cover on all Bigfoot conspiracy, like all the Bigfoot things. And so now you have all these other new videos out there of Bigfoot.
So people are in the car wondering what's going on
Yeah,
now.
what does this have to do with sports? I guess is the question.
As Scott wipes the ranch dressing from his chin, we will continue to talk about the where I wanted to go with this, Brian.
Yes,
I'm going to tie it into sports. My conspiracy theory on this in the sports world this week. We're going to keep it in the NFL. Last week, when Joe Burrow goes down in a Thursday night football game against the Ravens, he throws a touchdown pass, grabs his arm, clutches his arm. Then you see him go to the sideline, make an attempt to throw a couple times. He leaves the field. He has a torn ligament in his arm. Now, if you would go prior to the game, there's video and shots of Joe Burrow getting off the plane where his right arm is already wrapped with a brace. So what happened? What's the real story? His arm's wrapped, his throwing arm. He comes out. He plays the first quarter of the game. He passes the ball a few times down the field. He's okay. He throws a touchdown pass, grabs his wrist, goes off the field. He's out the rest of the season with a torn ligament in his arm. What am I missing in this story?
Well, was it like when Charlie Batch got hurt doing something else and then went into a game and had to tell him that he was hurt prior to it? Like, was Burrow already hurt?
Well, that's a part of the theory is because the NFL now is investigating because they're seeing that why didn't Burrow and the Bengals make this injury known as you're supposed to? Mm-hmm. And if you go back and like I said, if you would look at those two shots, one him getting off the plane with the wrap on his arm. If there was no issue, why wasn't this? Or if there was an issue, why wasn't this brought to the attention of the league? Or did he, in fact, tear his ligament while throwing a simple pass out of the backfield?
He could have been hurt, and he may have torn the ligament that was already kind of like,
perhaps?
Yeah, like maybe it was. I'm just,
I mean, tearing a ligament, that's a, for a guy that throws a ball for a living, I don't know. Again, it didn't really add up, and people are talking on the web about this, and I wanted to know what your guys' opinion was.
I saw this before, and it's like all of a sudden us men in the NFL are becoming mothers of America. How did you let him play? And you already knew he was hurt.
But you have to report these things.
I've never sounded like that in my life, ladies and gentlemen.
But that's what it sounds like to me. Like everybody's like, oh, we should investigate the team for not reporting that his hand was hurt before.
Well, again, don't you think it's fair that the teams abide by the policies of the league?
Did you see the story about the Njoku from the Browns? I'll just bring this up. Did you see this story? They just put it on. They put it on the front page before the game.
In between
yesterday.
wings, Scott has a conspiracy theory. Yes, go ahead, please.
Well, no, I mean this just ties into what you were talking about, the whole wrist thing. Njoku blew his face up with fire in a fire pit and wasn't going to miss the game against the Ravens. Just wasn't going to miss it. Went to the thing. You got to go to the hospital, dude. You got 3rd-degree burns. Did you see this thing?
I did not hear this at all.
Okay, so he came to the game in some kind of mask that made him look like evil and crazy.
Is that why he dropped like 10 passes?
He did drop a lot of
won
passes.
The game. Anyway,
he dropped a lot of passes.
They let him play. The doctor said don't play. The team said don't play. He said, screw you. I'm getting paid. I'm not going to miss this game.
Well, ultimately, the team does make the call.
Do you think this might have had something to do with, what happened with Burrow? Like, it doesn't matter whether they reported or whatever they said. I'm playing. And then it's ultimately the player's call to whether or not they want to play the game. This guy had his face burned off. They let him play. Everybody knew. Everybody knew Burrow's hand was hurt. They're not going to say nothing because then the other team's going to target that arm or that hand or whatever you think is aggravated. You shouldn't have to report these minor things.
Every week that a team releases all the injuries that is known.
Yeah, this isn't hockey.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they keep it like
this
secret.
is literally a policy that you can't not do this. This is why the Bengals are being investigated because this is an issue because teams won't release injuries for whatever reason, and it could be a conflict of interest. So the point being, you have to report injuries, and that's why the Bengals again, they're saying, well, why didn't you report this? Why, if there was an injury prior to, why was this not known to the league? Again, I don't know. I'm asking you guys, what do you think?
I think he slept on it wrong. Maybe I don't know.
And
some mornings I wake up and I'm hurt.
And then he got hurt in the game. And then he got hurt in the game.
With
it's
that
his
same
throwing hand.
particular arm.
If you saw that, not the play that he threw it and nobody touched him and he grabbed his hand. The play before that, he threw it and his hand hit somebody, just like Ben Roethlisberger when he hit his hand off of somebody else's helmet and broke his finger. And then they taped it up and he was back the next week anyway. And we were like, why is this guy in? He can't throw
Ben
the ball.
Roethlisberger, do you remember when he got hit in Baltimore and his nose was on the side of his face? And he goes to the sideline and they literally put his
Popped it
nose
back.
back into place.
Right.
You've seen the blood squirt, and next thing you know, he was out there. I love this. I love football. These aren't problems for me. I'm just
I
saying.
think Ben was never good looking.
I'm just saying it falls under those guidelines of what the NFL does require, and it did not happen that way. That's all I'm saying.
When we come back from break, we're going to rate all the players that Brian thinks are good looking and not good looking for
We're
all
definitely
you got,
not doing
for all
that.
you weird guys out there. Anyway,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I thought you didn't like Seinfeld.
Well, I don't think that had anything to do with Steinfeld, but yes.
Yeah, that was the famous quote from Jerry Seinfeld's episode.
He
Well,
has
and all
lots
the
of
weird
famous quotes.
listeners, I think that had something to do with.
Yeah, I think when we come back, we're going to go around the NFL.
This is, I think, is going on with the NFL and the conspiracy theorists, and which is what I want. Not talk about the moon. Not talk about all this other thing.
Well, you went on and on about it. We just said we didn't go there.
We
Literally
went to
and
the moon.
figuratively.
We totally went to the moon.
No, not a chance.
Totally went to the moon.
We got 1 minute. What's your point?
All you have to do is go get a telescope. Go out there and get a telescope. Go to University of Pitt, and they'll show you where they landed.
All right, so you
can,
want to talk about
zoom
what?
in and see it.
Close games, field goal
It's not
games.
even a conspiracy.
45 seconds. It is a conspiracy, and they did not land there. But I do know that we have 45 seconds till the break.
Tick, tick. Come on,
When
Scott.
we come back, we have picks to do. So think long and hard on that, guys.
Okay, well, explain to me this. And then and
In 30
this
seconds?
applies-
Is this something
this
I'll be able to
applies-
explain in 30 seconds?
Well, not if you're going to keep interrupting. We'll just go back after break.
Okay.
All right, guys, you've been listening to WBVP 99.3. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
If you're looking forward to stuffing the turkey this year, you'll be even more excited about stuffing your pockets at Moon Township Ford. Friday, November 24th is Black Friday, and that means a special weekend of Black Friday deals, the ones you've been waiting for all year. Visit Moon Township Ford during Black Friday weekend and get a $250 gift card with every delivery this Friday and Saturday. That's $250 in your pocket and a brand new vehicle from Moon Township Ford in your driveway. What a weekend! Here's your chance to start 2024 with just what you're looking for. A chance to save during their Black Friday weekend celebration. Get a $250 gift card with every delivery this Friday and Saturday at Moon Township 4, located on University Boulevard in Moon Township.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
It started with a road trip into the American Midwest. Huntington bankers with one mission, to understand how people made sense of money. And that's how we met Brenda.
How do I control money? Envelopes. The first of the month, I divide up my cash. One envelope for groceries, one for gas, one for fun. It helps plan out my spending.
And that's how we came up with digital envelopes for your checking account. Our customers give us the best ideas. Huntington, welcome. Member FDIC. Learn more at huntington.com.
How would you like to make the holidays a little better? This is Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union with a Christmas wish for you. Make the holiday the one you've always dreamed of with a visit to Freedom United Federal Credit Union. The cash you need to make the holidays festive is available right now with low interest rates and approvals that will have the money, in some cases for those qualifying, deposited into your account later today so you can shop tomorrow. While you're there, register to win a Christmas breakfast tray from Cafe Colache in Beaver. That's right, get the money you need plus a delicious holiday breakfast for you and your family just by doing business with Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Register for the Cafe Colache breakfast tray, no purchase necessary, at Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester, Center Township, or at the Northgate Plaza just north of Zelienople. You see, the interest really is in you at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Click freedomunitedfcu.com, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Hey, Peanuts!
If we were game on either one of our picks, we'd be great.
Welcome back to the Hey Peanuts Sports Show. I'm Brian Pasquale here in the same part of the studio with my co-host Scott Kincaid. Our producer Ryan's here to take your calls at 724-774-1888. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies, as well as TEK Roofing. Give Scott a call for all your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. And make sure you get down to Just One More Sports Bar on 7th Avenue and 10th Street in downtown Beaver Falls. Before the break, Scott wanted to get into...
I went down to the Just One More Sports Bar yesterday. I got to plug them. I love them. We've been down there for Taco Tuesday. They have like if you get a hard taco, it's a chalupa style taco shell. It's something I've never had before. It was almost like a salsa cracker.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And their soft taco. I had 2 of each. It was really good. Tonight is their breaded chicken ranch bowl. They still have 42 flavors of wings. You mix that up with 2 flavors.
Isn't this anti-pasta night or whatever?
I think they changed it up a couple
memory
weeks
of a dead elephant.
Wasn't he
said
just
this
saying
3 weeks in a row?
As the show was going on, he says 3 weeks in a row. Insult each other or talk about how dumb each other are.
3 weeks
It
in a
just
row.
about 30 seconds. Now I have I have the brain of a dead mole.
But I'm talking about sports. You don't discredit each whatever. 3 weeks I've said this. There is no anti-pasta.
Somebody started their time of the month. I honestly believe this.
Well, it's my fault. It's my fault, folks. I was stuck in traffic. I didn't get here till late to break them down.
So the anti-pasta is
somebody fire the offensive coordinator of the Hey Peanut Sports Show.
We're all about defense here, ladies and gentlemen. All defense.
So they don't do the anti-pasta on Wednesdays anymore.
No, it doesn't exist.
Okay. It doesn't exist.
Well, it exists. If you go there and say, I'd like some anti-pasta salad, and we throw some fries and coleslaw on it, and they'll do that. But that's not a featured item, though. You can go to Just One More Sports Bar on Facebook. Check out everything that's going on. They got Dirty Beats coming out on Saturday. Man, he is dirty. Speaking of which, we're going to switch a little bit. We got some food tonight. And did you
I haven't had a chance to eat yet.
Oh, my God. They're so good. My shop is next door to the Pittsburgh Sports Bar down in Castle Shannon, 3630 Library Road. I hooked us up with some wings tonight. You get a chance to go down there. You can't miss the place. It's got the most beautiful mural.
Sidney Crosby.
Sidney
It's awesome.
Crosby holding
the
Stanley Cup
it's
above it.
nice.
You can't miss it. If you want to go watch a Pittsburgh-based sporting event, especially hockey, especially football, especially baseball, make sure you get down in there. And you're going to be surrounded by your people. You're going to be surrounded by Pittsburgh fans. Like I said, thank you again, Rusty, down there at Pittsburgh Sports Bar, hooking us up with these wings today.
Can't wait to try them.
Dude, the PSB sauce is delicious.
That's where I met Brian. He was in between jobs. He was bartending on Taco Tuesday, and that's where I met Brian.
That is the best Tuesday of the week, or the month. Taco Tuesday is the best time of the month.
All right, are we able to get into picks? Because I know we took up a little bit of time there.
We
I know
are.
Scott wanted to talk about
I do want to
something,
go over last week. I'm not going to go over all the games. However, I do want to say it was a very interesting finish. It came down to the tiebreaker.
Oh, no. Did
I
I win?
I no
Did
way
I
I
win?
did well on the tiebreaker.
Brian, you got 8 games correct last week. Scott, you got 8 games correct last week.
That's a tie.
That's close enough.
It comes to the tiebreaker.
Scott has to win this one.
No, because I was 10 and 13 or something. I forgot.
Scott, you picked, or Brian, let me start with Brian. Brian, you picked 17-13 as your final score last week, giving you a total of 30 points for your tiebreaker. Scott picked 20-9, which was 29 points, who was the closest without going over. Scott, you win by way of tiebreaker by 1.
How? I got the Browns score right. Steelers just didn't score that last touchdown for me.
Exactly.
Thanks, Kenny. Way to go. You got Matt Canada fired and me the loss for the week. I'll take a loss that way, though.
Kenny, come on, man. All right, guys. So you ready to jump into it?
Yes.
All right, here we go. This all starts tomorrow. Thanksgiving, everybody. We spoke briefly about these games. Here we go. We're jumping right in. I'm going to start with Scott today. Scott, the first game of the weekend, Green Bay Packers at Detroit Lions. Who do you think is going to win this football game?
You know, I just think it's revenge time for all those years, and I'm going to go with the favorite here. I like what's going on in Detroit. I like what's going on in Green Bay, so I'm not trying to say this is going to be a walk-off. I think this will be a close game, a lot closer than people think.
Well, usually division games go that way, too.
But I'm gonna pick Detroit at home, and for this particular cause, I'm going to say Jared Goff is the man with the turkey
Now,
leg.
let me ask you,
He's getting what is it called? Turduncan leg.
Which game will you be eating your Thanksgiving dinner through? Will it be the early game, Scott? Will it be the 4:30 or will it be the 8:20? Where is Scott eating?
I wake up in the morning on Thanksgiving and I start making breakfast, and then that food I make enough to make it last to where if you're hungry you can come in and eat, and then she starts cooking the lunch, And then there's just always food. So I'm eating from the time I get up.
Okay.
So that sounded like all three.
And
then leftovers on the Friday game.
This is why I probably won't make that 49er game because I will be
in a food coma.
Yes.
All right. Brian, we're going to come over to you with the same question. The Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions. It's Thanksgiving. You know the story. Who wins this football game?
The Packers are not going to win. I like Detroit this year. Like, it's their time. It's finally their time to shine.
I agree. I like them. I like what they're doing up there. Guys, let's go into the second game on Thanksgiving. I'm going to start with Brian this time. Brian, this is another interdivision game between the Washington football team, as you like to say, and they are traveling down to Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys, Commanders, who do you like?
Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. They're one of the top teams. You know, there's the 49ers, the Lions, the Eagles, and the Cowboys are like the four top teams.
Yeah, right. And being the division team, that's not going to help Washington's chances. You think that this is
on the road? No way.
Gotcha. Scott, over to you. Same question, my friend. The Washington football team is traveling to Dallas, Texas, to play the Cowboys 4:30 tomorrow during Thanksgiving. Who do you like in this game?
I'm going to sneak this by you. It's my upset game of the week.
Okay. Sam Howell and the Washington football team is going to upset the Dallas Cowboys.
I just think the Cowboys are not going to win.
Okay.
I don't want them to win.
I'll be eating during the Lions game. Thanks for asking.
You're going
early.
You're the early spot. All right. Tomorrow evening, the game that is not the Packers, or I'm sorry, not the Lions or the Cowboys, the third game. This is going to go to you, Scott. You have the 49ers traveling up the West Coast to play Seattle. 49ers, Seattle interdivision. Who do you like in this one?
This is a tough one.
All three division
It's kind
games.
of a tough one. I think Pete Carroll's going to have his team ready to play. I think he's going to have them geared up to this is your deciding moment. You'll know whether or not you have anything if you can beat this team.
If they win, they're in first place.
You got to win. You got to beat this team at home. If you can't beat this team at home, we might as well just sell all of you guys and look forward to next year. So I think Pete Carroll's swan song is still in play. They still like they're a player in the West. I'm going to go with Seattle.
Brian, your Thanksgiving finale between the 49ers and the Seahawks in Seattle. I know you love that stadium up there.
It is my favorite stadium by far. I just don't know what the quarterback situation is for Seattle, and Purdy has been playing MVP caliber football lately, so I'm going to stick with the hot hand, even though I think that's a tough place to play. Super loud. I am going with the 49ers, though, with the question marks for Geno Smith.
All right, guys, we're going to the first ever Black Friday game ever played in the NFL. This game is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. Then it's between the Miami Dolphins. They're making the trek up to play the Jets.
So wait, all three games on Thursday are all NFC? That's boring. I'm such an AFC, homer. You know what I mean?
All interdivision, all NFC.
Got the homer part right.
Let's start.
Who's first, me or him?
Let's start with Scott. Scott, I'm on Friday. We were talking Dolphins at Jets.
What's their record? Give me an idea.
The Dolphins are 7-3, and the Jets are 4-6.
And the Dolphins have won what? They lost 2 of their last 3.
They haven't beat a team with a winning record. They haven't lost to a team with a losing record.
And the Jets have a losing record.
But barely. But Jets are like 4-6?
4-6, yes.
That is a losing record, yes.
It's the Jets. You know what? Next upset, I'm going to pick the Jets. And
Scott's all about the upset this week.
Who is our quarterback?
It's you guys were mentioning it when Joel was on.
Nianamo.
Yeah.
Best of luck to him,
because it is a weird name. I want to make sure
you keep on that name, Brian. I'm going to come over to you. Dolphins at Jets.
I've been with the Dolphins all season. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think the only time I picked against the Dolphins is when they were playing the Eagles. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time I picked against them this year.
I'm going to continue on because you will be the first pick of the next game, Brian.
Yeah.
Buccaneers
are we at 1 o'clock
at the
on
Colts.
Sunday now?
We are 1 o'clock Sunday. This is our first Sunday game. 1 o'clock. Buccaneers at Colts. Was it Baker Mayfield and Gardner Minshew? Who do you like?
At Indianapolis?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. This is 2 mediocre teams. What teams are going to show up? I guess I got to go to my wheelhouse here and just go with the home team.
Go with the Colts.
Do they still pump like music into that into the PA system?
I haven't
there?
heard that they don't.
Okay.
That's all that I could say.
Because talk about like loud stadiums, like they actually literally play noise on top of the fans.
Brian or Scott, it looks like you have an answer to the name of the quarterback that starting for the Jets.
I don't. I don't. I'm trying to find it.
Through all the ranch around his mouth, I'm having a hard time reading what it is you're saying.
Well, all they can do is tell me that Zach Wilson's out, and poor pitiful for him. Tim Boyle. That's not who I thought. So the backup to Tim Boyle is the weird name guy.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and scoot forward here. Buccaneers at Colts. Scott, who do you like? Buccaneers at Colts.
I like the Bucs.
Okay. We'll squeeze a couple more games in here before we got to hit this last break, guys. Scott, this comes to you. Patriots at Giants. Patriots at Giants.
Oh, they better not televise this.
You know what? The Giants are just a strange team. You never know what you're going to get. Jones is not in there. They got with this
Zappy.
They got the Taylor.
Who the
trainer
in New York? Right now they have Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito versus Zappy or Mac Jones.
It's Danny's grandson.
Yeah.
Right. It's another sunny day in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Was it Lloyd? Christopher Lloyd in that
Taxi? Yeah, he totally was. He was the mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a real numbnuts.
So here we are in the New York once again. Patriots at Giants.
I'm gonna pick the Giants just because they have the Patriots number.
All right, Brian, over to you.
I think they should just tie. I want to go with my tie here.
You said tie.
You're gonna go with your tie.
They're both terrible. I mean, but the Giants are at home, so I don't know. They're gonna win by 3 because they're at home. That's how silly it is.
Let's get one more in here, guys.
Win.
This game, you may know something about this game, Scott. This is going to be Brian's question, but it is the Panthers at the Titans. I want to get Brian first before Scott because again, Scott might know something here. So
I know nothing.
Panthers.
Well, we knew that
at the
like
Titans.
Hogan's Heroes. That dude from Hogan's. I see nothing.
So
Panthers at
Bryce
the Titans.
Young and Will Levis, a couple of rookies.
I mean, I thought the Giants and Patriots was a bad game. This is even worse, right? I mean, what the Panthers have 1 win, and what do the Titans have 2?
It's not good, yeah.
I mean, I'm going with the Titans in the. There should be a Music City Miracle there or something.
All right, over to you, Scott. Here before we head to break.
I don't
pick of the segment.
I don't know this, but I think it's going to be a blowout. I think Will Levis is finally going to play a team that's not better than the team that he's on.
All right, I'm lateraling it back to Brian.
All right, so you guys have been listening to WBEP 99.3. We'll be back in 2 minutes, finishing up some NFL games.
Here is a question that is very easy to answer. Would you rather be sold something or get professional help and advice that ultimately leads to a strategy that best suits your needs? Tom Young at First Consultants Inc. in Beaver has a unique approach that has won over the trust of even the most skeptical clients.
Everybody that's selling is looking for a profit. I focus on creating strategies that are in the client's best interest.
Ask yourself this: what have you got to lose? The answer might be a fortune. Get financial strategies instead of a pitch about a product. Visit firstconsultantsinc.com or be a part of Tom Young's live simulcast presentation on the third Tuesday of each month beginning at 9:10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio and Facebook Live. All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is no way affiliated with First Consultants, Inc., nor is First Consultants, Inc. a registered investment advisor.
At Geneva College, your academic experience will prepare you with exceptional expertise in your chosen field. But what you'll learn is so much more than just that. Integrating faith and learning, you'll grow to see God's purpose and calling in your life's work. You'll be challenged to imagine how the world around you could be different and what your part might be in making that difference. You were made to live courageously. Visit geneva.edu today.
Have you heard the phrase that champions are made, not born? Well, not only does it take hard work and dedication to become a champion, but you want to look like a champion too. Mr. Trophy is here to make that happen, whether it's on the field or off the field. They have you covered from t-shirts to hoodies, mugs to plaques, yard signs to vinyl banners, awards to trophies. They do all sizes, shapes, and colors. They're your one-stop shop for awards, apparel, gifts, and more. Mr. Trophy is located on Bennett's Run Road near Spotlight 88 in North Swickley. Visit Mr. Trophy's website at mrtrophypa.com.
Hey, Peanuts!
Welcome back to the Hey Peanuts Sports Show. I'm Brian Pasquale here at the St. Barnabas Studio with my co-host Scott Kincaid. Our producer Ryan is here with us as well. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tamco Building Supplies and TEK Roofing. Give Scott a call for all of your roofing needs at 412-969-1167. Make sure you get down to Just One More Sports Bar on 7th Avenue and 10th Street in downtown Beaver Falls. We have been making our picks for the NFL. Scott and I tied last week, but he won the tiebreaker. Even though I got the Browns score right, and Kenny Pickett didn't give me that 7 points to get it right on. Thanks, Kenny. I might get fired on my day off like Canada.
I don't know.
And Ice Cube, or what was his name in that movie? How are you going to get fired on your day off?
Smokey.
Craig, that's right. Come on, Craig.
Yes, one of my favorite movies from the 90s, actually, Friday. All right, guys.
Hey, Ryan, before I send it over to you, can you tell me a little bit about Two Dumb Yinzers?
Absolutely. I appreciate this, fellas. Check out the Two Dumb Yinzers podcast. The show is also a video cast. It is on YouTube. You can check it out 5 days a week. It is live from Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then it also is in podcast form over on Spotify. Brand new show every single day. You can check us out at our website, www.the2dumbyinzers.com, being the number 2. And a lot of good stuff over there. Go check it out. And I thank you for the plug. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I was trying to do it at a different time this week.
I got a chance to listen to yesterday. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday, 5 to 6, to listen to the Ralph Williams and the Sports Corner of Smoking Jim.
Dude, Jim's he has all the energy in the world. It's great.
I love Smoking Jim.
I really enjoyed that show yesterday, so you guys make sure you tune into that.
Yeah, those guys do a great job.
Let's get back to the Hey
All right,
Peanuts
guys.
Sports
So we
Show.
finished up. The last one was the Jaguar. No, it was not. It was the Titans-Panthers. So the next game is the Jaguars at the Texans, which you guys got to remember about this game. Earlier in the season, the Texans win this game by 20 points. Yes, 20 points. Trevor Lawrence versus Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud, I'm so sorry. Trevor Lawrence versus C.J. Stroud, interdivision. Start with you, Brian. Who do you think is going to win?
At Houston?
It's at Houston this time.
That really makes me want to pick them. But
have you been to Houston?
No.
Okay.
I was at the airport once, and I know that I was the only guy there that spoke English.
The only time I was in Texas was I was in Dallas.
I'm not sure that's a home field advantage, unless you're an Astro. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. I mean,
go with Jacksonville on this one.
Is he prettier than C.J. Stroud? I don't know.
Oh my God, what is going on here?
You know
what?
Speaking of conspiracy theories, have you ever seen
going on?
This group of aliens they call the Whites?
No.
And they have this long, flowing blonde hair. Look it up sometime.
Like
Fabio. He kind of looks like one of these what they call the Whites, this Trevor Lawrence.
Well, Mitch Trubisky looks like Tony Romo, and I can never unsee that.
And the birds aren't real.
Scott, over to you. Is it going to be the Jaguars or is it going to be the Texans that bring home the win this week?
Oh, this is a no-brainer. I don't care. The Jaguars beat up on the Titans, right? That's nobody.
But this Jaguars team lost by 20 points
the
less
Texans
in
are
Jacksonville.
The Texans are the better team here. In fact, I see them to walk away at the end. I think the Texans and C.J. Stroud will be in the playoffs. That's my prediction after midseason.
So there you have it. Next game, fellas, is the Saints and the Falcons. The division-leading Saints, who are 5-5 at this point in the season, face the Atlanta Falcons.
They're better than the
trying
Panthers.
to do some catching up in this NFC South. Scott, this is going to be yours to start. Who do you like in this game, the Saints or the Falcons? It's at Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta.
Hey, Mercedes,
you know what?
Benz.
An Atlanta thing I saw while Scott's digging out his quarter to flip here. I believe isn't the All-Star game going to be in Atlanta? Remember how they moved it for political reasons?
I'm not sure.
So All-Star baseball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Going to baseball.
Yeah, they're going to have
I'm
it in
excited.
Atlanta
Let's talk about
since they
baseball.
got
They
they moved it to somewhere. Where did they move it? Like Denver or something. But yeah, the All-Star game will be in Atlanta, and I don't know if that's next year or the year after, whatever. But
good question.
All right, my favorite Steeler is Terry Bradshaw. He's a Saints fan. I'm going to pull for the Saints. That's what
he flipped a penny, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Who did you take?
I didn't even
that?
say where it is. Huh?
Scott, you took the Saints, Brian. Did you pick the? Who'd you pick on that?
Home team.
Isn't that kind of sad?
Home team.
That discourages me a lot. Like, I don't understand that. How he's a Saints fan.
I don't know if he is a Saints fan. Is
I've
he?
never heard him talk about
He
it.
is absolutely adamant about being a Saints fan.
Really?
He loves Pittsburgh. Loves the Steelers. He's a Saints fan. He was,
Interesting. I did not know that.
Well, he's from New Orleans, so
Wait,
I mean,
who are
it's
we talking
understandable.
about?
Terry Bradshaw.
Oh,
The greatest Pittsburgh Steeler
I thought
in
you meant
history.
Brian.
Is that the? There's a good question. Before we go any further,
I'm not a
who's the
Saints fan.
greatest? Who's your favorite Steeler of all time?
Oh man,
Who's the best Steeler of all time?
Well, that's a long
I have two
conversation.
different answers.
We do have 7 minutes.
We'll do it next week.
Yes.
The
I'll think
Rams,
about it. I'll have a good
Cardinals,
one.
Brian. Rams at Cardinals.
Give me the Rams on the road.
Scott, same
the Cardinals are
question.
just
Rams at Cardinals. NFC West
Rams.
showdown.
Yeah.
Rams.
It'd be tough to pick the Cardinals.
Yes, I see clearly through my crystal ball. Arizona will have the number 1 overall pick in the 2000.
There's some really bad teams that are going to challenge them, though. Those Panthers are like, yeah, right, Scott.
This game here, I think, is going to be a better game than some people think. The Browns at the Broncos. Number 1 defense in the league, and this Broncos team has won 4 straight games, including games against Kansas City, including games against Buffalo. They are now hosting the Cleveland Browns this week. Browns at Broncos. Scott, start with you.
You know, they just don't have. And this, I know he's going to hold me accountable for this because beginning of year,
Accountability.
you're going to hold me accountable for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Didn't I say that? Oh,
No, I said I'm just saying accountability.
I thought you were correcting my English. You know, anyhow, Sean Payton started out horrible, and they don't seem to have a coaching problem. And I like this Denver Bronco team. I like what I saw last week, and so I'm going to take Denver.
All right, over to you, Brian. Do you like the Browns or the Broncos in this?
Wilson's been playing well.
You know what is good is the Broncos have been playing, and again, like I said, they beat the Kansas City and they beat the Buffalo Bills in the past month. It's hard to look past the number 1 defense, no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, but their
Browns
offense
are bringing
is
the number
so
1 defense.
bad.
This is in Denver, though, right?
Yeah, I like Denver, here. That's why I was hoping Scott picked the Browns.
No one can breathe there. No one can breathe there. Myles Garrett is not going to be able to be as aggressive as many plays in a row.
What's the free safety, Ryan Clark? He's not.
He couldn't play there.
Yeah, he could never play there.
Guys, we have 5 games left. We have 5 minutes. The next game on the list is Brian, Buffalo Bills at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Give me the Eagles. The Bills are a disaster. Although I was talking to my buddy on the way here, and he's a huge Bills fan. He was saying how they're the most penalized team in the NFL. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would assume it is.
Over to you, Scott. Scott, Bills at Eagles.
I know they won that game last week, right? I watched it.
Monday Night Football, Eagles. Yes.
No. The Bills.
They did. They had a nice blowout win.
Right. I watched that game, and even though I watched that game, I only saw 6 different offensive plays that just have no playbook, and so I'm going to go with the Eagles.
All right. Next game, AFC West, fellas. The Chiefs at the Raiders. Scott, Chiefs at the Raiders. Chiefs coming off a loss on Monday night, heading to Las Vegas to play the Raiders.
You know what? That's a funny game. We didn't talk about that Monday Night Football game. It's a weird game. Kansas City should have won that game. The conspiracy is out the window because you would think Kansas City should win the game and they would not be better in stats. They were better in stats and they still lost.
So this means you're picking the...
It's just interesting to me because the way you let in that the Chiefs are coming off a bad loss, they were actually had a good loss. So I'm going to stay with the Chiefs on this one.
Okay.
I don't know. Where is this at? In L.A.?
In
Vegas?
Vegas, baby.
I get 3 upset picks a week, so that's it.
3.5 games to
Okay.
go, and we have
Yeah,
tiebreakers for
Raiders.
3.5 minutes.
Raiders.
Over to you, Brian. Chiefs at Raiders.
Give me the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
All right. Brian, also going to go with you on this one. Ravens at the Chargers. Ravens in L.A. to play the Chargers.
I'm going with the Ravens because they're actually looking for real, and as long as Lamar Jackson stays healthy, they're going to be tough to beat in the regular season.
Scott, Ravens at Chargers.
Here we go, San Diego Charger. Oh, wait, that's not the right song anymore.
No, they're in L.A. now.
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Chargers,
San
Monday Night
Diego
Football. Monday Night Football game, guys. To finish up the week is the Bears at the Vikings. Scott, Bears at Vikings.
Wow, man, I don't know.
It should be a good game.
It should be a really good game. That's another one. That should be the one they played after Green Bay and Detroit on Thanksgiving. I'm going to go with the Vikings because I like Josh Dobbs, and you keep it up. I tell you what, here's another show. Would you trade Josh Dobbs now for Kenny Pickett?
I'm not sure. Brian, Bears
Good
at
answer,
Vikings.
Ryan. Give me the Vikings.
All right. Now we got to get back to the Steelers game. Fellas, Steelers at the Bengals. Brian, by the way, this is gone. I'm going to have to start with you. We're going to get a who you think, Steelers, Bengals, and I also need a final score prediction so we can get your tiebreaker score.
I think all of the Steelers players are going to rally together, and so they had their scapegoat, and I think they're all going to play the offense I'm speaking of much better than they have all season, and I'm going to say they're going to have a breakout game and score a lot. Give me 28 points for the Steelers, maybe even 31. And I think the Bengals are going to maybe score 10. 28-10, Steelers.
All right, for its combined
The troops
total
will
of
rally.
38 total points. Scott, who do you like to win first, the Bengals or the Steelers? It's in Cincinnati. Who do you think?
He's at a loss for words, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, this is like kind of too easy now. Well, I think the Bengals are going to win this game. I want the Steelers to win. So don't think I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. I want the Steelers to win. They just lost the person in charge and acted like it was no big deal.
1 minute left in the show, guys. What's final score on this?
I'm going to go with the Bengals here, and I think their offense, even without Burrow, is going to be enough to take care of business there. And I think it's going to be a pretty big score. I'm going to go 23-20 Bengals.
23-20 for a
That's a
total
tight game.
of 43 total points. I'm going to send it back over to you, Brian.
Well, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I hope everybody enjoys their Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a good time with their friends, family, or even if you're by yourself, just have a good, safe day. I'll be eating at noon tomorrow and probably until I fall asleep.
Yes. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving also. Big shout out to Frank Sparks here at St. Barnabas here at 99.3. I'm sure he's probably going to be at work. It's a big day, Thanksgiving, to get out there and spread the joy. And
all right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, Scott. Happy Thanksgiving, Ryan. You guys have been listening to WBBP 99.3, and we'll be back in 166 minutes. Hours.